Alright. Got my card review hat on. Welcome to Fractured in Alterac Valley card review set review. Welcome. For some reason I can't get the name of this set stuck in my head. I keep thinking it's Forged in Alterac Valley. But no, it's Fractured in Alterac Valley. I guess we'll see exactly what that means. We're gonna go through class by class. The ratings are gonna look like this. I have 5.5 up to demonstrate what the rating will look like. Obviously, it's an impossible score. We're rating on a scale of 0 to 5, so average would be 2.5. 2.5 is an average score. Methodology-wise, I'm talking exclusively about arena utility. Average cards are gonna be cards that are like functional but aren't bringing any special heat to the meta. Cards that are below average are cards that are either underpowered or cards that could be powerful but the condition of activation is suspect or uncommon. Yeah, right. I think that because of Forge and the Barons, but yeah, I've conflated them in my head. And obviously above average is probably what most of these will be, because I've glanced at some of the cards and they're generally really strong. We will also, at the end of every class, will rank that class on a tier list type thing. So let us get started. I mean, it's gonna be a long set review, so buckle in, folks. We don't know what sets will be included yet in the arena. Do we? It's not full wild, no. I don't think we know yet. But maybe we do. I haven't been paying attention. So starting with Demon Hunter here. Dread Prison Glaive, a 1-mana 1/3 weapon. Honorable kill. So this is a new mechanic, let's talk about it. Deal exact lethal damage on your turn for a bonus. So y'all remember Overkill? If you deal more damage than necessary, you get a proc on an ability. This is like that, except it's exact damage. So, in the case of this weapon, if you deal 1 damage to something and kill it, you get the ability of dealing damage equal to your hero's attack to the enemy hero. So if I kill a Murloc Tide Hunter, then they take 1 damage phase as well. We've seen weapons of this, like, Righteous... What's the Paladin weapon? The 1-mana 1/4? Righteous Poker? Whatever it is. That's sort of like this. It has 1 more charge. And that's a good card. It's not like an amazing card or anything, but it really helps in the early game to have these pings. Especially when you're looking at, like, Peasants, Basilisks. Again, we don't know what's in the meta, but we're thinking generally here. And again, the thing about Demon Hunter is this card gets a little better because you can also hero power very easily. And then if you kill something with 2 damage, then 2 damage goes face as well. And in certain Demon Hunter builds, that could be very valuable. So I don't think this is an amazing card. Feels worse than other past 1/3 weapons. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of extra face damage can add up, but it doesn't affect the board state. And in Arena, the board state is often the important thing, right? So I definitely see people picking this. I definitely see it being a valuable early game piece in Demon Hunter. A way to boost the efficacy of your hero power. Hey there, Mafundi. I don't think it's amazing though, right? So I'm thinking like maybe like a 2 or like a 2.5. Still says 5.5, sorry. We'll call it 2. Let me make this a little... We'll call it 2. Because again, we want to be conservative with our scores with this set, especially since there's so much busted stuff coming down the pipeline. Battle-Worn Vanguard. 2 mana 2/2, common card. After your hero attacks, summon 2 1/1 Felwings. So already this looks like it goes with that weapon. You know, you play the weapon on 1, you play this on 2, and suddenly you have essentially 3 minions on board with a weapon equipped. That's pretty good. If you don't get that exact combo, a 2 mana 2/2 that you can't play until at least turn 3, but you get 2 1/1s. It seems like comparable to Grim Necromancer to me, with a condition. And if they can't kill the Vanguard, of course, you might get multiple sets of 2 1/1 Felwings. Yeah, I like this card too. It's a condition, like, it's conditional, but the condition is not that hard to achieve. It's a little bit less of an early game card because of its condition, but if you manage to land it on turn 3 with a hero power that kills something, that seems like a pretty strong swing to me. Do the Felwings have a creature type? Good question. Demon. That does make it better, right? Slightly better Sharkfin in the class that wants it. Yeah, and Sharkfin Fan is already like an okay card. I'm thinking this is at least average, at least a 2.5. Going wide really depends on the meta you're in, how valuable that's gonna be. I'm gonna say we can call this a 2.5. I think it's a totally solid card, like a strong 2.5, verging on 3. It's not gonna, like, burn down any barns in terms of its impact on the board, but it could really help swing turns. And generally, I mean, you'd rather do this than have, like, a 2 mana 2/3, right? Field of Strife, a 2 mana rare spell. Your minions have +1 attack, lasts 3 turns. So this is the first of this new brand of card that I think will be pretty cool for the arena, actually. This effect lasts for X amount of turns card. Objective cards. Oh, yeah, that's a good way to frame it. Does this count for minions in hand too? That is an interesting question. Because that does matter for certain things, right? It just says your minions. So I would be inclined to think no. But also, I don't know. Cards in hand aren't minions. Yeah, that makes sense. They only come to life when they get a... So let's assume it's on the board. Your minions have +1 attack for 3 turns. This is cool if you're doing, like, a lethal push. Something like, that Druid card, what is it? Soil? The 1 mana choose 1 card that can add attack to your board. That's, like, solid. You usually use it for the 2/2, though. Sow the soil, yeah. So yeah, I'm also not really sure how to evaluate this. I think this has a pretty niche use. Something tells me that I don't want to rate it particularly highly. I'm gonna give it a 2. Relatively conservative. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe it will make trades and face push so much better. But if, like, the thing is, if the opponent plays in such a way that the extra attack doesn't really matter, maybe it's hard to do that for 3 turns straight, but you're basically wasting a card and 2 mana on a negligible effect. Flag Runner. Oh yeah, this one. I think this is a good one. 3 mana, 1/6 common card. Whenever a friendly minion dies, gain +1 attack. So this is sort of like the better version of the Ghoul, right? And the Ghoul's already solid. The Ghoul can get out of hand, the 3 mana, 3/3. I like this better because you have more health, and you therefore have more opportunity to build this card up. Yeah, pretty alright. Of course, it's not necessarily that good as a 3-drop. And it reminds me of that Hunter card that buffs other beasts when it attacks, right? Putting out something with 1 power can sometimes be really sad for you. The Piper, So... yeah, and you're not always gonna want to trade your minions in. I'm gonna say, I mean, you're usually at least gonna get this to a 2/6, and then if it becomes a 3 mana 3/6, that's overstated. That's a really good result. Imagine turn 1 weapon, turn 2 Fellwing guy, and then this. That would be pretty dope. And if this gets out of hand, if you put it behind a taunt, it could get really chunky. Like, a lot of the current meta is you get to the late game and then you're both putting up big taunts and trying to finagle minions behind those taunts to try to break through. Flag Runner would be pretty good at that. I'm gonna say it's a 2.5. It's a pretty solid card that I would say is usually gonna have upside and sometimes is gonna have downside that makes you pretty sad. Okay. Flanking Maneuver. Flanks for nuttin'. 4 mana rare spell. Summon a 4/2 demon with Rush. If it dies this turn, summon another. Well, of course it's gonna die this turn. Let's look at the thingy. And it's a demon. A lot of decent demon synergies in and around Demon Hunter. 4 mana, 4/2 Rush. That summons in. This is a good card. Can you chain this more than once? Do you mean, like, if both 4/2s die, does another one summon? I would say no. Because it doesn't repeat the spell, it just resummons the minion itself. Yeah, clears a Morg for 4 mana. I like this card a lot. Like, it's always gonna die, and sometimes you clear... Let's say the opponent has a 3 mana 3/4 out. You play this card, you clear their 3 mana 3/4, and you have a 4 mana... you have a 4/2 left over. It's sort of like Scorpid in that way, but it has additional utility in that you can clear something really big, right? Makes me think a little bit about that Druid Kodo card that gives something +4/+2 in Rush, and then has the Death Rattle that summons another. That card is, I think, better than this, but this one's really solid too. So we have our first higher than 2.5 rating, I'm pretty sure, because this is above average. Also 4 mana, which is, it's not super expensive, but it's a bit steep for a spell. I'm gonna call this one... Why is Kodo better than this? Just because of the buff? Well, Kodo gives another minion rush. So, Kodo, you could think of it like +4/+2 buff, and +4/+2 rush comes out of it. That's already 8/4 stats. This card is 8/4 stats. But the Kodo has the additional ability of giving another minion rush, so you can, like, kind of pick value trades and make it sticky and make it last and be a threat, and I like this more because it's not conditional. If the Druid Kodo didn't give a minion rush, then I would agree. If it was just buff a minion, then it would be too conditional. But the fact that it comes with initiative in the first place, I think, is really nice. Of course, you need to have more mana to do it. Like, you can put this down on turn 4. That's the one way that this is better, right? But yeah, like, the opponent could have, like, a 6/4 and a 3/4, and you could just knock them both out for 4 mana. I think I'm gonna call this 3.5. It is above average, and it's even a little bit better than above average. But I don't want to call it one of the busted cards of the set yet. We'll call it a 3.5. Warden of Shines. 4 mana, 2/6 rare taunt. Battlecry, if you're holding a demon that costs 5 or more, gain +1/+2. You will relatively frequently be holding a demon that costs 5 or more. You won't be able to do it in a way that's reliable. So looking at the base stats, 4 mana, 2/6 taunt is okay. 4 mana, 3/8 taunt? That's pretty dang good. Uh-huh. Yeah. Stegodon, right. So this is a Stegodon with upside, I think that's a good way to think about it. And we draft Stegodons. We don't do it happily. We don't like it. We do it baby raging, but we do draft Stegodons. And it's not a beast, which helps. The upside of this card's not, like, amazing, though. Yeah, so it is a bit meh. Because, like, 4 mana, 3/8 taunt, great. Most of the time it'll be a Stegodon. Sometimes it'll be a little bit better. For that reason, I think I'm gonna call this... It's either average or below average. I think we're gonna say below average. Oops, just a 2. I think we're just gonna say a 2. Yeah, it's true that it does give info to the opponent as well. They're gonna know that you have a big demon, which there are a lot of big demons, so that could mean a lot of things, but yeah, you don't always want them to know that. Sigil of Reckoning. Ooh, more sigil action. This is a 5 mana sigil, an epic fell spell. At the start of your next turn, summon a random demon from your hand. This does not seem worth it. I don't think it's a 0, because if you draft a bunch of Moargs, you might wanna... Even then, though, like, you could get... yeah, you could get Illidari out. Like, if you have 2 Moargs and an Illidari in your deck, you might draft this. So for that reason, we'll call it a 0.5. It's not completely useless. I could imagine someone using this in the arena. But this is only really useful if it's relatively early in the game, right? Because if it's, like, post turn 10, you may as well just play the big demon. Yeah, this is only really good with Illidari. And of course, you could think of it like, alright, I'll take an L this turn, and the next turn if I get a Moarg out and can play other stuff, that's really good. Sure, it's really good, but this is much more of a constructed idea than an arena one. Illidari doesn't have summoning sickness because it has rush. But other demons would, right? Yes, I assume. Harriah Fellsoul. First legendary. 6 mana, 6/6. Oh, the devil's number. Battlecry, transform into a 6/6 copy of a demon in your deck. This is nothing. This is nothing. This is another constructed idea. Man, Demon Hunter's not getting much exciting stuff. They stacked Demon Hunter early in the early sets of Demon Hunter, and they're like, let's take our foot off the gas for a while. Only good with Death Rattle demons. Yeah. So what is the ideal? Like, Enhanced Dreadlord is the ideal? Moarg is, like, fine. You get armor, I guess. So this is basically gonna be a 6 mana 6/6. It could even have downside, I guess. Like, if you transform into the... Oh no, wait, that's... That's a Warlock card, never mind. I was gonna say the 2 mana 2/5 that hurts yourself, but... Illidari, that's true. If you transform into Illidari, that's significant. So we have 2 cards here that are only good if you have Illidari in your deck. I mean, if you have Illidari in your deck, you're already in good shape. You don't need these. So I'm gonna just evaluate this as a 6 mana 6/6, which is not good. Especially as a legendary. We're gonna say 1.5. I feel like the support for this is coming in a later set. Could be. Could be. Kurtrus Demon Render. 6 mana hero. The heroes are coming back. So what's the deal? We won't be able to draft these, but we'll be able to discover them. Is that right? I guess we'll rank them with that in mind. Battlecry, summon 2 1/4 demons with rush. Improved by your hero attacks this game. Not sure what that means. I don't know if that means they become 2/4 or 2/5 or 1, you know. The hero power is +2 attack this turn. After a friendly minion attacks, refresh this. That's fairly strong. And it only costs 6 mana. Increases attack by 1, okay. So if you've hero powered 2 times, then you'll summon 3 4s with rush. I mean, that's good. And you do hero power a lot as Demon Hunter. Should we even rate these hero cards? They're kind of just a different thing entirely. I don't know how to like rate them exactly. But let's do our best. But only for 1 turn. No, it's for the whole game. If you hero power early in the game, then the demons will get better when they come out. Yeah. Tempo's talking about the Battlecry, not the hero power. The buff lasts until the end of the turn they are summoned. Oh, so like if they don't die? Is that so? That's weird. Whatever. I would assume that they keep the attack, but maybe you're right. Yeah, baffled at how to rate these. They're kind of a different thing, so don't take these ratings at face value, but... 4? Because it's pretty cheap for a hero and the abilities aren't amazing, but like... It's a good swing turn with the rush demons. 4. Urzul Giant. 13 mana 8/8 demon. Epic card. Costs 1 less for each friendly minion that died this game? Now this is an arena card. Yeah. Now this card would be kind of rotten if it was only while this is in your hand, right? Like some other cards have been in the past, but this is friendly minions that died this game. By the time that... Yeah, I think this is a very good card. It's basically, like, if you play a long game, this is gonna be a free 8/8. And let's say you hit curve, play a 1-drop, play a 2-drop, play a 3-drop, play a 4-drop. That's 4 minions dying. That's already down to 9. That's already playable after 4 turns. Say 5 turns, you play 2 minions. Turn 6, you play 2 minions. Then this will cost 5 mana 8/8 on turn 7. And sometimes in Demon Hunter, you play cards like Coordinated Strike, where it's 3 mana, but 3 minions die. This is ridiculously better than Jumbo Imp, right? No demon requirement, no in-hand requirement. This is definitely going to be a card to draft and just plunk down huge stats, which would be very useful in this meta, just huge stats coming down all of a sudden. I don't really know that I see much of a downside to this, because, like, if you get it in your hand in the early game, it's probably at its worst, because you won't be able to play it for a while, but that's true of any card statted like this. If you're top decking it in the late game, you probably get to the point where it's very playable no matter what's really in your hand. So a really cheap 8/8. We'll call it a strong 4. And the only reason I don't bump it up to a 4.5 is because just playing an 8/8 doesn't actively do anything to the board. It doesn't have initiative. It doesn't affect things, swing things, anything like that. And it could just be removed. But I think it's definitely a strong 4. All right, and that's it for Demon Hunter. So let's take a let's peek at these cards here. I should probably make this screen even smaller. But my thing is blocking that thing. We could put it up here. Good content, Blobby. Alright, that's probably fine. So, yeah, let's evaluate Demon Hunter as a whole here. Mostly it was like 2s and 2.5s. So, like, not really. Like, these are fine, just fine cards. They'll add interesting stuff to Demon Hunter. They're not really making it stronger, though. Or I don't think they're going to tremendously impact the meta. None of these. This one will be quite good, and this one will be quite good. And these are really the only two to pay much attention to. This is pretty much a dead card. Yeah, and this is mediocre. So given that we have 2 good cards here and neither of them are busted, I think that... how do we want to do this? There we go. I think that we can put Demon Hunter... SABCF, sure. Nobody gets a D. Nobody gets the D. No Nut November. We're gonna put this in C. Definitely not F, but nothing really inspiring here for Demon Hunter, unfortunately. Nothing that really changes the dynamic of the class, nothing that you're gonna be lusting after in the draft. Cool. On to Druid. Capture Cold Tooth Mine. 2 mana, epic spell. Choose one. Draw your lowest cost card, or draw your highest cost card. Oh, that's an interesting one. So, as far as card draw goes, 2 mana, draw 1 card is not amazing. We generally want to get a little bit more oomph out of 2 mana for card draw purposes. But the ability to kind of have some control over what it is you draw could be valuable. I think that 9 times out of 10, you're going to be wanting to draw your highest cost card in the arena. That being said, there are going to be moments where your lowest cost card is like a Discover that you want to grab. I kind of like this card. I don't think it's amazing, though. Because again, it's just 2 mana to draw 1. And maybe you're looking for that Ysera, right? And so you like it, but... Why on earth would anyone play 2 to draw lowest cost card? Well, consider Bakirov, a deck in which your lowest cost card is your best card. In that situation, would you spend 2 mana to draw your lowest cost card? What if your lowest cost card is a Zephrys? Pandaren is what I was thinking of. In certain metas, you might draw even like a 3-drop like a Scorpid. It's not like all the good cards in Hearthstone are the expensive ones anymore. This is not really the case. I think this is 1.5. I think you'll draft it if it's in a rubbish bucket. And especially you'll draft it if you've got a heavy hitter at the end of your curve that you want to draw with more reliability. Like Druid, right? It's Druid, so Ultimate Infestation is the big one here. You get an Ultimate Infestation in your deck, you probably want to draft this Old Tooth Mine, just so that you can have it in hand more often. But generally speaking, although it has some good application to the arena, we'll call it a 1.5. Claw Fury Adept, 2-mana, 2/3 common beast. Battlecry, give all other friendly characters +1 attack this turn. There's a lot of +1 attack stuff so far, huh? I think that 2-mana, 2/3, solid beast, that gives you additional synergies. Yeah, so friendly characters, as Intangible points out, does include your hero, which is clutch. For a lot of reasons. Wicker Claw would work with this, am I right about that? Because it's anytime you, like, give your hero attack. Yeah, Mufundi says yeah. So, and there's also that other Druid card that if your hero has attack, the 2-mana 2/3 does damage to a minion. So there's a good amount of Druid synergy for this. I like what this does for Druid. And you could definitely pick up lethal with this. So play it on curve as a 2-drop, fine. Use it to make some good trades with your face, cool. Unlock a synergy with these other Druid cards, great. Get lethal when you've got a bunch of tokens out there, fantastic. It's still a 2-mana 2/3, which isn't the best in the world, and it's conditional, but I think it's at least a 3. I think we'll say 3.5 for this fella. Because there's not really a downside to it, other than Galaka, and that's not even a huge downside. Firefly coin Firefly into this. Yeah, I mean, it's only this turn, so that wouldn't be always the best, because your opponent by turn 2 probably wouldn't have enough on the board to warrant 4 damage trading into it. Savage Striker, yeah. That's the one I was thinking of. 3.5 might be a little high, but I think this is a nice little card. Frost Wolf Kennels, 3-mana, rare spell. At the end of your turn, summon a 2/2 Rolf with Stealth. Lasts 3 turns. Look at the wolf, I bet it's cute. Oh, it is cute! I was right! Man, I'm good at this game. I'm gonna fuck that squirrel up, though. It's hard to believe that that squirrel would let that cub get so close. Not realistic enough. Not logical, Blizzard. It has stealth? It doesn't look like it. It looks like it has focus. It thinks it's cute. A squirrel looks like it's just looking at a drone or something. Anyway. At the end of your turn, summon a 2/2. So basically, you spend 3 mana, you get 3 2/2s for it. They're spread out over 3 turns, which is sometimes better than getting them all at once, and it has stealth. I think this card's really good. Definitely slow, but... So, the problem with this and the other cards like it is that you're not going to get an impact on the turn that you play it. But let's say you get to turn 3 and the opponent hasn't put any credible threats on the board yet. Or like you've matched their threats. You You can just throw this down and you're almost guaranteed to be able to take the board back over the next few turns. You get the 2/2 the turn you play it. Well, you get it after the turn you play it. So yeah, it will be awake next turn, but it doesn't make an immediate impact on the board. Yeah, and Druid has a lot of like buff stuff, so it definitely works with the archetype, and it sets up for that +1 attack card pretty nicely. I think I like this card quite a bit. You know, I'm the one who's been talking a lot about. Okay, so you know that 2 mana 5/4 card, Stockades Guard, I think it's called? Stockades something? Stockades Prisoner. That card that's 2 mana 5/4 dormant, and it will awake after you've played 3 cards. I've heard a lot of streamers say that they don't think it's a good card, but I persist in liking it because the beauty of dormant to me is that you can use your mana to put some value onto the board, but prevent the opponent from interacting with it right away. So it dodges AoE and stuff like that. You're sinking 3 mana into this to initially do nothing, but you're getting cards that... You're getting minions that will replenish the board after the opponent acts, right? So let's say... And plus they have stealth. That's another big thing. Stealth, I think, is pretty valuable. That 2 mana 2/2 stealth that discounts the next card you draw. I like that card a lot, and it usually doesn't match up with other early game minions when you play it, but because it has stealth, you can be thoughtful and cautious with it, and... So I'm gonna say 3.5. It might be a bit high. We'll have to see how it plays. But I think I do like this card, and I'm excited to mess around with it. Heart of the Wild, 3 mana, common spell. Give a minion +2/+2, then give your beasts +1/+1. So this works nicely if you got a bunch of beasts on the board, otherwise it's a bad buff. It's like Totemic Reflection without the copying. Maybe you're gonna get 1 extra +1/+1. Maybe you'll get more, but not often. Beasts on board, it should be, yeah. I think this is crap for Arena as well. It's worth drafting because sometimes +2/+2 is all you need to get a really important value trade. But not worth thinking about much as one of the best of the set. Definitely a low impact card here. 1.5. Pathmaster. 3 mana 3/4 rare card. Battlecry. Cast the other choice from the last choice 1 spell you've cast. They're really going back in on this choose 1 stuff, aren't they? We got that 2 mana 2/1 that splits choose 1 spells or minions. One of them, I don't remember which. Minions, I guess. There's just not enough choose 1 cards that you can reliably draft them is the problem with this archetype so far. Plus, it's the other choice. It's the one you didn't want. You probably didn't want it for a reason. It is definite upside. But yeah, like Intangible says, the benefit is narrow. That being said, it's not like it's a 3 mana 3/3, it's a 3 mana 3/4, so you're gonna want to draft this all the time in the arena. I think I just want to call this average 2.5. And every once in a while, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Hey, thanks for that follow, I appreciate it. Ride Seeker, 3 mana 2/4 rare. Battlecry, your next choose 1 card, costs 2 less. Alright, now this one is understated. So this one I don't like. Your next choose 1 card costing 2 less. I mean, what are you gonna be drafting in the arena? Guidance? And that already costs 1. Yeah, I thought it was a bit weird, but I wasn't gonna say anything before. Guidance isn't choose one. Oh, right. Yeah, what do you, I mean, what do you do gonna be, like, a bunch of choose one cards. Maybe you draft the 5-drop with it, and then that becomes a 3-drop. I think this is a 1. The stats are bad. Power of the Wild, yeah. Power of the Wild. That's maybe the best combination with this. Nourish. It could make Nourish vaguely okay, but you don't really want to draft Nourish anyway. Like, so many of the choose one cards you just pass in the draft. We'll say 1 for the Pride Seeker. Dire Frostwolf. 4 mana 4/4 common beast. Stealth. Death Rattle. Summon a 2/2 wolf with stealth. Painting stealths. Interesting archetype to build for Druid. I wouldn't have pegged Druid as the one getting all the stealth support. But here we are. I would play a 4 mana 4/4 with stealth by itself. Even without the Death Rattle, I'd play this card. I wouldn't necessarily like it all the time, but I'd play it. But you additionally get a 2/2 wolf. 4 mana 4/4 with Death Rattle summon a 2/2, again, is already good. I think this is a really good card. Like, it does 3 different things extra. It's a 4 mana 4/4, which you sometimes have to draft in Arena. It has stealth, it has the Death Rattle 2/2, and that 2/2 has stealth. That's 3 bonuses. Stealth collects it, and protects it from the Galaka Glutton. Truth. So this might be one of our best cards yet. I think this will be tremendous for Druid, actually. Because, again, it doesn't have any initiative or immediate impact. I will rate it a 4. I think it's a pretty strong card. Reminds me of the 3/3 wolf. Summons 2 spiders for Hunter. Yeah, and it's better than that, and that card was already pretty solid. Stealth and Death Rattle are both things that I prioritize very highly in the Arena because they both kind of impede the opponent from doing what they're trying to accomplish. Wing Commander Mulvarick, 4 mana 2/5 legendary, Rush. Your minions have honorable kill, summon a 2/2 Wyvern with Rush. Oh my. Now this one sounds like it can chain. So, and it says not your other minions, it says your minions. So let's say you put this on the board. Let's say the opponent has, hypothetically speaking, and this isn't even a Battlecry. So bear with me here. I think this is how it works. Let's say your opponent has played Soul of the Forest, or what is the 8 mana that summons all the 2/2s? Let's say the opponent has, Forest Aid. Say the opponent has 7 2/2s on the board. You play Wing Commander Mulvarick. You kill one of the 2/2s. It summons a 2/2 Wyvern. That Wyvern kills a 2/2. It summons a Wyvern. That Wyvern kills a 2/2 that summons a Wyvern. The Wyvern kills a and you just clear their board, right? Now, I've invented a hypothetical scenario where this card is perfect. And the math is not always going to work out well. I like the art on the bird. It's a cool mask. But the fact that as long as this stays alive, this honorable kill will be in effect. And also that the 2/2s can summon 2/2s, and if you have other minions on board, you can, like, make the trades better. Seems like a constructed card again? No. Do you mean that this will be hard to make work in Arena? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Like, basically every perfect kill you get on something, you get bonus 2/2s, and if those 2/2s can make perfect kills... I think this will be great in Arena. So why don't you think it'll be that amazing in Arena, Omniflas? Like, you play this, Yeah. Of course, you know, you have to in the, the you're probably behind when you're playing this. But if the math works out, it could be basically like a defile in effect. Just chain things and kill everything, and it's too hard to set up perfect kills. Maybe. But this minion itself helps. Like, let's say there's a 2-3 on the board, and you have your hero power. You hero power into the 2-3, you rush this wing commander into the 2-3, and you have a 2-2 that you can do with what you want. Right, like this itself will probably get a perfect kill. Much better Geist. Yeah, and I think that Geist is even pretty good right now. Necrotic Geist. Honorable kill is deal exact lethal damage on your turn for a bonus. So it's like overkill, but not over. I think this is a 4. I think it's very good. Like, Rush is all about making trades better, right? And this certainly does that work. And any minion with Rush is pretty nice to have. The stats on this aren't incredible, but... And, like, if this survives, then you do the... Like, let's say you clear their board out. Like, I think what's gonna happen sometimes is your opponent's gonna have 3 minions on the board. You might have 1 or 2. You'll play this card, maybe combine it with a hero power or a spell. You'll clear their board entirely, and you'll suddenly have bonus 2/2s all over the place. You'll have this card and also, like, 3 2/2s on the board. Let's say your opponent can't clear the wing commander, they can only play minions. Then your 2/2s just run right into those minions and generate more 2/2s. It just steamrolls people if they can't deal with it, so they have to focus it down. It could even be better than a 4, but I think probably we'll go with 4 for now. Alright, another hero. Wildheart Guff. 5 mana, you get 5 armor, Battlecry. Set your maximum mana to... Oh, right, this guy. Set your maximum mana to 20, gain a mana crystal, draw a card. I mean, is this really that useful in Arena? Like, what are you gonna do with 20 mana? You gonna draft Big Druid? And then die by turn 9? It's nice that you gain a mana crystal and draw a card at least. Right, we should look at the hero power. Choose one, draw a card, or gain a mana crystal. Well, if you can draw cards with your hero power, that makes this better. Yeah, that makes this a lot better, because you can kind of blitz through your deck. Okay, so, but the fact that you can use 2 mana to draw cards makes this so much better. I still don't think it's amazing, but... Like, card draw is not always easy to come across in Druid. There won't be hero cards in Arena to draft, but they've always been discoverable. They're still discoverable, so we have to kind of reckon with them at least a little bit. Let's say 3 for this. And I might be wrong, and it might just steamroll people. I really don't care about rating the heroes very much. Frost Saber Matrix, 7 mana, 4/5, Epic Beast. Taunt, costs 1 less for each beast you've summoned this game. So the somewhat worse version of the Demon Hunter Urzul Giant. You have to be playing beasts. And in Druid, you often will be. But for this card to be worth it, you need to have played 3 beasts. And even then, this card is just mediocre. You count summons. That's true. That makes it easier. That makes it easier, the fact that you count summons. It's a thick taunt. It's not a thick taunt. It's a semi-thick taunt, and that's gonna be pretty useful sometimes. But just 4/5. I kind of think this is like a 1. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like sometimes you'll throw down a 2-mana 4/5 and be like, look at me. But I really don't think this is anything special. You could argue for a 1.5. Alright, that's Druid. Better than Demon Hunter. So the highlights we're looking at are the Adept will be pretty good. I think the Kennels will be nice. Everything else up here is meh. The Frostwolf will be a very solid curve minion. I think this is a good legendary, and we don't care about this. So again, nothing incredible here. Nothing that cracks 4. But if we're going to be rating Druid, it's definitely going to be higher than Demon Hunter. Is it a B or an A? I think it'll be a B. Because, like... Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's gonna change the face of the meta. Like, certain classes that we'll be coming up on. I think it's a B. And maybe a low B at that. Most of these are pickable. I don't think this is particularly pickable. And I'm not in love with this. But the fact that most of them are pickable, and some of them are good, we'll give it a B. On to my beloved Hunter. I'm looking forward to seeing what's in this container here. My head is a little bit low and it's been bothering me. So, Bloodseeker, 2 mana, 2/2, common weapon, honorable kill, gain +1/+1. Oh. Oh. Ho 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 ho. Ooh. I like this card. So 2 mana 2/2 weapon is already good. We know this because the Hunter has that hatchet thing. And we're very happy to play with a 2 mana 2/2 weapon. Happy to have it in the draft, happy to have it in game. This weapon means we don't smork as much though. Does it though? Are you usually sending those axe charges face? Sometimes. But isn't it better to be sending your minions face because you're getting good trades with the weapon, and then when the weapon becomes like 6 attack, then you can send it face? I think it works well with smork. Yeah, in Hunter, you're tending to use weapons to zone for your minions, and this does an excellent job of that. So, you make an honorable kill, then this becomes a 3/2, right? Because it uses a charge, but then gains 1 back, and you make another one, it becomes a 4/2. That should be how it works. This might be our best card yet. And it's common. And I love a good Hunter weapon. I love a good Hunter weapon. I also like the design of it. Even if you get 1 honorable kill, you've basically made a 3 mana 3. You've basically made a 2 mana 3/3 weapon, which is really strong. Definitely cracks 4. Definitely. Is it 5? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say this is a 4.5. It's not the best that it can be. But I really like the idea of this weapon. Sometimes you're going to be sitting there frustrated thinking about whether you should use it or save it for an honorable kill. But especially if you can get this out in the early game, it's not like the opponent has much choice over the amounts of health on the minions that they can play. And you could just hold this and hold this and hold this for a while too. Either in your hand or equipped. I think Bloodseeker is really nice. Oof. Gunbaldar Bunker. I think it's cool that that these like objective cards, somebody called them. I think it's cool that they're like environments, like a bunker. At the end of your turn, draw a secret and set its cost to 1. Lasts 3 turns. Okay, if you draft a bunch of secrets in your Hunter deck, it's cool to draw them and make them cheap. 4.5? I don't think so. Oh, wait. Bakarov, I think, is a little bit behind. And is still looking at the last card. Yeah. I thought they were making a joke. Yeah, this is crap. When do you ever draft 3 secrets in Hunter? Never. You just don't do it. If you're at the end of a draft and you've already drafted 3 secrets, sure, you can draft this. But then what happens if you draw 2 of the secrets and then you draw this? It's essentially 2 mana draw a card. At best. It's either 0.5 or 0. I'll generously say 0.5. Maybe you draft 2 secrets and this is in a terrible bucket and you pick it. These are all actual objectives pulled from the Alterac Valley PvP mode in WoW. Oh, cool. Good for people who like WoW. Yeah, if I put them in play, maybe. True. Although you don't always want your secret to be in play right away, so that actually might make it worse in some cases. Alright, secret. Ice Trap. When you're it's a 2 mana frost epic secret. So we won't see it as much as other secrets. When your opponent casts a spell, return it to their hand instead. It costs 1 more. If your opponent casts a 1 mana spell, they can play it again for 2, and it will have cost them 3 mana, which is annoying, but that just offsets the mana that you put into this. Any more expensive than that, it starts to get harder to replay it. How does this compare to Freezing Trap? It's probably worse, right? It's nice to have a secret that affects spells. Another one in Hunter. Definitely can do some mind games with this. We could think about this in comparison with Counterspell. So Counterspell just nullifies a spell that they play. Counterspell is okay. The difference is this is cheaper, and the downside is that it gives them the spell again. So this is probably worse than Counterspell. The threat of it's better than the actual effect. I want to like this card. I'm gonna say 2. And I might be wrong. I might be underestimating it. But thinking about it like a worse counterspell makes me want to say 2. It's true, if you play this into an AoE turn. 2.5? You can really mess with the opponent if you can sense that a flame strike or something is coming down, then you can completely ruin their day. If you okay, sorry, Ram Tamer, 3 mana for 3 common, Battlecry. If you control a secret, gain +1/+1 and stealth. Okay, so first of all, this is most of the time. Like think about the 2 mana 2/3 that gets +1/+1 if you have a secret equipped. That card's not that good. And even if you draft it in a deck where you have secrets, a lot of the time you're just playing it on curve, or you don't have the secrets around, or you play a secret, but before your next turn comes around, the opponent procs it. She seems cool. I'd like to hang out with her. She seems, like, amicable. But I don't know if this is that good of a card. 3 mana 4/3 is not a good stat line. If the bonus effect procs, this becomes a 3 mana 5/4 stealth, which is good. It's quite good. This comes down after the secret turn. That's true. Yeah, it just depends on what secrets are in the meta as well, because in some metas, there's not secrets that you want to play onto very much. Evaluating this as mostly a 3 mana 4/3, you'll pick it if you need curve. It's a 2. Not the most exciting. I like the secret support that Hunter is getting, though. They're not the best cards, but I do like what's happening here. Revive Pet. 3 mana. Nature Spell. Rare. Discover a friendly beast that died this game. Summon it. You know what this reminds me of? That new priest card, the Death Rattle Amulet. Kind of reminds me of that. In a way, this is worse because you can't upgrade it, and in a way, it's better because you can discover which one you get. This requires you to have beasts in your deck, and it requires them to have died. So a card this conditional, you don't want to prioritize in Arena. We'll say that first of all. That being said, if you can get a Hymen for 3 mana, that's pretty nice. If you can get, I mean, what are some other good big beasts? If you could do like a, King Crush? I don't know. This card will have a high played win rate and a low deck win rate, I bet. Yeah, that feels right to me. I'm trying to think of beasts that this is, like, amazing for. I mean, what you're gonna have to use it to get, like, a Circus Amalgam sometimes, right? Death Rattle summon 2/2 for taunt. I don't like this card. I think I'm gonna give it a 1.5, and it might even be lower than that. Like, a lot of decks you have just aren't gonna support it at all. Hunters started off strong, but some of these are not the most useful. Spring the Trap. 4 mana. Epic Spell. Deal 3 damage to a minion and cast a secret from your deck. Honorable Kill, cast 2. The Honorable Kill on this is often going to be irrelevant, because are you really going to have more than one secret in your deck? Maybe sometimes. I think in Hunter you can relatively reliably draft 1 secret. Not always, but like if you pick up a secret and then you take Spring the Trap, and then if you draw the secret first, it's still 4 mana, deal 3 damage. Which is, it's like that card there's another Hunter spell that's like this. It just deals 3 damage. Like buffs a beast in your hand or something. Yeah, this is no flanking shot, that's for sure. I like the idea of this, but again, I think in practice in the arena, it's not going to be that impressive. It's a spell that affects the board, but it should work on your own minions. Honorable Kill. So, like, in a pinch, you could do that if you just really need whatever secrets in your deck. Scrap Shot, that's the one, thank you. -1 knows all the names. Yeah, thinking about it in comparison to Flanking Shot is enlightening. Yeah, and the fact that this is not even as good as Scrap Shot. 1 or a 1.5? Let's say 1.5, thinking that sometimes we'll have 1 secret in our deck. I don't think you're gonna want this a lot. Stormpike Battle Ram. 4 mana, 4/3 rare, beast. Rush. Death Rattle, your next beast costs 2 less. And this is ever, right? So, and you're probably gonna have more beasts in your deck. So a 4 mana, 4/3 rush is already solid, and you get another little extra discount on top of that. I think this is a good card. I think that this is above average. We can call this a 3. It's like, you know, the 3 mana, 3/3 rush is pretty solid. Yeah. And this has additional upside. And if you have that another beast in your hand, you could have a really nice swing turn. I think 3 is fair. Beast Stalker Tavish. 6 mana. Hero. Battlecry, discover, and cast 2 improved secrets. So it just all the secrets are all better. All right. So what's the hero power is summon pet, 3 mana to summon an animal companion. So basically you get you can play animal companion every turn if you want to. That's strong. And this is like, yeah, I think this is a pretty good hero. Like, casting 2 improved secrets for 6 mana is good, and then you have animal companions whenever you want them. All to 4. Mountain Bear, 7 mana, 5/6 beast, common card. Taunt. Death Rattle, summon 2/2/4 cubs with taunt. Okay, this is what the person was referring to earlier then. So High Main is 6/5 stats, and it summons 2/2s. This is a 5/6 for 1 more mana, so the stats are a little bit worse, but the things that it summons are much better. Like, think about how annoying Demonic Assault is. How obnoxious it is. What are improved secrets? It's secrets that are improved. Are you asking me what are each of the individual one's abilities? I don't really want to go through that, but like, for example, improved snake trap is you get 2/2 snakes instead of 1/1 snakes. Yeah, so this is like better high main. It comes later, which is relevant. But it's the 2/4 cubs with taunt, and this has taunt too. This is monstrous. I think this is really good. So you're playing for 7 mana. You're playing 3 different taunt minions. Like, if the opponent is coming for your face, which ideally they're not in Hunter, but you can do Control Hunter. If the opponent's coming for your face, just throw down a Mountain Bear and you're good to go. And if you can use that 3 mana spell to discover another one of these and put it out there. Yeah, this versus Threshodon, and Threshodon is already like, in the pre-Galaka days, Threshodon was already like solid in the arena. I'm almost tempted to give this a 5. I won't because you could silence it, but it is a very, very strong 4.5. I think this is an excellent card. It's going to be a nightmare to get through. And it just protects your other stuff. You can keep smorking. You don't have to be that afraid of what the opponent's going to do if you got a mountain bear on the field. Oops. Ah! My keyboard sticks a little bit because I spilled stuff on it. Sorry. Oh my god, we're already... Oh, okay. Hey, stop. Wing Commander Ickman. 9 mana, 5/4 legendary. Battlecry, summon a beast from your deck and give it rush. If it kills a minion this turn, repeat. I feel less certain that this is going to be a good card than I do about the Druid legendary with the rush. They're vaguely similar ideas. Like, you summon stuff that can trade and then summon other things that can trade. But this costs 9 mana, and if you get, like, Web Spinner out of your deck, like, you might have a Web Spinner. Like, if you don't know what beasts you're gonna get, you get Web Spinner, and it can't kill anything, it's just a total bust. Higher ceiling, but lower floor. Maybe higher ceiling. But if you get that Mountain Bear out, the thing is, like, if you pull this, and this kills something, this will still be on the board. Like, they're still gonna have to deal with this, and you get a whole nother summon. It's very difficult to evaluate this because it's unbelievably, like, deck dependent, but I don't believe it. I'm gonna just send it right down the middle and say sometimes it's gonna be a 1 and sometimes it's gonna be a 4. Right, and that's Hunter. That's Hunter. That's a Hunter. Hunter is our best set yet. It's gonna be better than B. So let's go through each of these. Bloodseeker, top tier. Excellent, excellent card. This is the unplayable card of the set. Ice Trap, fine. Ram Tamer, fine. Revive Pet, fine. Spring the Trap, fine. So, like, Hunter's not amazing either, but the fact that it has this Bloodseeker and this Mountain Bear, like, these two really elevate the class. The Ram is solid. Ikman can have high roll application, but it's these two that really make me excited to play Hunter. And in fact, these are the first cards that really make me excited to play the archetype. The Druid stuff is not particularly exciting, even the good ones. So yeah, definitely not an S tier for Hunter, but I think we can call it maybe like a low A. Although we might have to bump it down to high B depending on how good some of the other classes are, we'll see. We'll see how we feel in a little bit. But if you have two 4.5s that verge on 5s, I think that warrants an A tier placement. On to Mage. Shivering Sorceress. There's a lot going on with these colors. Bit much. 1 mana, 2/2 common. Battlecry, reduce the cost of the highest cost spell in your hand by 1. This is just a Raven that has upside. Pretty good. And playing a 1 mana 2/2 in Druid is more important than playing a 1 mana 2/2 in Mage, but it's still really nice. And it reduces the cost. Like, you can not only get ahead on the board immediately with this, but you can also improve the tempo at which you are playing your spells. So, like, you get ahead on the board and then you stay ahead. But, you know, it's not amazing or anything. Let's say 3.5? Like a weak 3.5? You give a 1 mana 2/2 a 4 at least? I don't know about that. Because, like, do you give Raven a 4? I mean, Raven's good and all, but yeah, give it a 3.5. Amplified Snow Flurry, 2 mana 2/3 elemental common. Battlecry, your next hero power costs 0 and freezes the target. I like freeze very much. So this is a 2 mana 2/3, no downside on the stat line. It's an elemental, which is great in Mage for when, you know, Grand Finale comes back in. If that happens. And there's other elemental synergies sprinkled throughout Mage. And your next hero power costing 0. That 2 mana 2/3 in Demon Hunter is really good, right? That cheapens your hero power. It's actually a dual class card. It's in Hunter too. Making Mage power free and making it freeze essentially means this card is 2 mana 2/3. Deal 1 damage and freeze a target, which is excellent. And it's even better than that, because you don't even have to hero power this turn. You can hold on to your hero power and wait until there's a target you want to freeze. I think this card is great. I want to give this a 4, actually. I think this is an excellent card. I'm a big fan of freeze, so maybe I'm overprivileging it, but I think everything that this does and the flexibility of it, I think it's really good. Snap freeze, yeah. And the twin spell freeze as well. Siphon mana, 2 mana arcane common spell. Deal 2 damage, honorable kill, reduce the cost of spells in your hand by 1. I don't really care about this. You have a handful of spells, that's cool. Doesn't usually happen in Arena. Especially in the neutral stone that we've been living in. Mage just doesn't get spells. You're gonna like have 1 first flame and you'll be able to play it for 0. 2 mana deal 2 damage is below average. You know, think about Drain Soul. The upside is that it is burn. You can send it face. That's nice. And you take spells like this when you have to. Because at least they do something. So we will call it a 2. But a kind of a weak 2, to be honest. Do you wanna build a snowman? You ever see that? You ever see that movie? Cinderella? A good one. 3 mana, frost spell, rare. Summon a 3/3 snowman that freezes. Add build a snow brute to your hand. Alright, this is gonna be a high concept one. So 3 mana for a 3/3 that freezes. Already that's good. Now let's figure out what the heck this is. Oh my god, wait a minute. So this is like a lot. This is like not a Lar. What's the? It's like Pyros, but better. Build a snow brute, 6 mana. Summon a 6/6 snow brute that freezes. Add build a snowger to your hand. 9 mana. Summon a 9. Oh man, the value here. I was already happy just with this. Like, just cover this text up and then we're good. We're good. But you get a 6/6, and then you get a 9/9. The freeze sort of matters less by the time you get to that point, but, you know, maybe freezing face is good, I don't know. The freeze mostly only matters for the 3/3, but it's just the value itself. Yeah, instant card advantage, which is sometimes a problem in Mage. If you don't get the right generation spells. Like, this can just be your curve, you know? It's... Is it a 5? Is it our first 5, or is it a good 4.5? I'm gonna say it's 4.5, but like a very good 4.5. Because not anything against this card, but I can imagine... I believe that later cards that I've seen are better than this. And like I said, the freeze seems so scary, but the 6/6 and the 9/9 freeze is not always going to be useful with those in particular. But this card is busted, yeah. It's going to be really... God damn it. Arcane Brilliance. 4 mana arcane rare spell. Oh, it's an arcane spell. Add a copy of a 7, 8, 9, 10 cost spell in your deck into your hand. Okay. Well, hear me out. Hear me out. Glacial Mysteries. Nothing you get from this can be played in the same turn. Hypothetically speaking, let's say you have a Flame Strike, you have a Deep Freeze, and you have a Puzzle Box. What are 9 cost? Is there a 9 cost Mage spell? Why is this a thing? Is there a 9 cost Mage spell? There's a new one. Okay, I guess we'll see. But let's say you have those spells in your deck, and you don't draw them ahead of time. 4 mana to draw 3 cards is pretty good. Especially 3 powerful ones. But that's a lot of ifs. That's a lot of ifs. It's a copy. That's good too. I don't think this is 0. It's 0.5 or 1. Oh, and then there's also that Polymorph. That's a 7, right? I think you could get at least a couple of these. 4 mana to put it in your hand is a bit steep. But if it's a long game... I'm gonna say 0.5... I don't hate it that much. I'm gonna say 0.5, but it might be worth picking every once in a blue moon. It could work as a discover, that's true. Yeah, if you happen to have the deck for it and discover into it. Belinda Stonehearth, 6 mana, 5/5 legendary. Part of the thing that I don't like about these heroes is that they're taking up slots for cool legendaries that could be in arena instead of them. Oh well. Better than like legendary quests or whatever. No way it's draftable. You can draft it at the end of a draft if you have 2 or 3 of the cards that it would pull. You could draft it then in a bad bucket. But otherwise, yeah. Yeah, 6 mana, 5/5, draw 2 spells, Battlecry. Swap their costs with this minion's stats. What? What is this? They want to do big spell mage? Ugh. Draw 2 spells is nice. So you're kind of taking the L on the stats, most likely. I mean, if you have mostly big spells, it could be okay. Not an exciting legendary. But, like, sometimes you just want that card draw, right? Like, you get the spells. Like, if they're cheap, you can play them on the same turn. Your minion suffers for it, but I'm gonna give this a 1. It's not good, but I will probably draft it at some point. You think 2.5? Wow. It might be better than we think. It might be better than we think, right? But we'll say 1 for now. Mass Polymorph, 7 mana arcane epic spell. Transform all minions into 1/1 sheep. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Omniflask has 3. I think it might be better than that. It is so situational. This is one of those cards that there aren't a lot of cards like this that you play them when the opponent has completely taken hold of the board. So it's nice to have these cards around. Cards like Twisting Nether. In a way, this is worse than Twisting Nether, though, because if your opponent has 6 huge minions on the board and you play this, then they have 6 1/1s still, and they might still be able to get you to lethal, right? I think 3.5 is fair. Like, this is an amazing comeback card, but it might not be enough. So you could pair it with Shooting Star, right? This stuff you can do. Pair it with the hero power. Like, use it on 2 minions, 7 mana, polymorph 2 minions, and then hero power the 1/1. It's a bit inflexible, but I think strong. Mageister Downgrasp. Oh, it's our non-binary friend. 8 mana, hero, Battlecry, recast a spell from each spell school you've cast this game. Recast a spell. So it's not random, it is a spell that you've played. 1 from each spell school. There's what, 3 spell schools in Mage? So you're recasting 1 or 2 spells. But what you cast and where it goes is random. I think this Battlecry kind of sucks. Hero power, 2 mana, deal 1 damage, honorable kill gain plus. Does this mean if you ping a 1/1, then next time you use this hero power, it will deal 3 damage? That's what I take this to mean. Okay, yes, okay. Not a fan of this. Not a fan of this one. It's 8 mana too, that's expensive. I think this is mostly for constructed. Obviously, you might get it sometimes and it'll give you the perfect spells, but... Rune of the Arc Mage. Oh, it's you. Look, it's you. 9 mana epic spell. Cast to... Oh yeah, this one. Cast 20 mana worth of mage spells at enemies. At enemies is the key wording here. That's what makes this good. Wonder how they programmed this card. It's kind of a cool card. Yeah, I love this. It seems really fun and with little downside. Like, there aren't many mage spells that do good things like buffs, right? So, like, if there was a mage spell that buffed, it would buff an enemy minion, right? But... Hey, I've gotta say... I don't know. 20 mana is a lot. I'm gonna say... And if it's like Arcane Intellect, you just draw a card. It says add enemies, but that's only for targeted. Oh, Conjurers. Conjurers is a little monk S. Be funny if there was a 0-cost spell in the meta and it just kept casting it once it hit 20. So Conjurers gives me pause. I'm gonna call this 3.5. It's very expensive and it's random, but it seems fun and powerful. Conjurers is the big one to look out for there. What if there are no enemy minions? Well, then spells that target minions simply wouldn't do anything. If there are no enemy minions, why the fuck are you playing this card? Maybe to fireball their face or something, but yeah. Oh, and more, there's more. Ice Blood Tower, rare spell. At the end of your turn, cast another spell from your deck. Lasts 3 turns. Trash. If you drafted 3 Flame Strikes. After they're removed. Yeah, like if you remove... Oh, I see. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Awakening Eye. Big spell. A big spell. A big spell. Cast another spell from your deck. 10 mana. I think this might be a 0. God damn it. Yeah, we'll leave it. Well, this is appropriate. This is appropriately how I feel about it. If you get this from the puzzle box, that's fine, I guess. Alright, I assume that's it. Yeah. Mage started off strong. Mage is interesting here. A lot of good, but not predictably great stuff. I think the highlight is build a snowman. The legendary's ass, the hero's ass. And this is a very fun and interesting one that's going to lead to a lot of grief and gnashing of teeth and ripping of clothing and etc. and such and the like. But this is dead, this is dead, this is dead. Mass Polymorph is going to be another big swing card. So there's some big swing cards here. This is pretty much dead. And then this is nice too. I like the Snow Flurry a lot. Snow Flurry build... All these sets just have like 2 good cards, which is fine, I guess. I guess this has 3 to 4. Is Mage better than Hunter? It might be... With all these whiffs, though, I don't know if we want to call it A tier, like a low A or a high B. I think Hunter got better cards. This has more good cards, but Hunter got better cards. I'm not especially impressed by Mage. Better than Druid, I think. By a pretty fair margin, but we'll put it high B. It's just the randomness and how hard some of these are to set up. On to Paula Dean. Vitality Surge. Ask your doctor if... No. 2 mana, Holy Common Spell. Draw a minion, restore health to your hero equal to its cost. This is pedestrian. Not very exciting. It's 2 mana card draw. And we've already discussed how bad that is. Oh, yeah, the flavor text beat me to it. I should write for Hearthstone. I would be good at it too, chat. But then that would probably be taking away the only part of the job they enjoy. Yeah, not that exciting, not that interesting. It might save some games if you're getting really low in health. But so might Witch's Brew, and we don't jack that card off. So, 1.5. 1.5, I think. You'd be good at anything you set your mind to, Blobby? I don't think so. I don't think so. Hold the bridge. I wouldn't be particularly good at holding the bridge. 3 mana Holy Common Spell. Give a minion +2/+1 and Divine Shield. It gains lifesteal until the end of turn. This is also kind of pedestrian. The Divine Shield is the important part here. It's a little bit like the Noble thing. The thing that summons the Noble Horse. It seems too fair, like an old card. Yeah, right? There's that Priest spell, 2 mana, give a minion Divine Shield and draw a card. That was better than this. And again with the lifesteal, like, lifesteal is generally not... Like, sometimes it will save you, but it's generally not my priority at Noble Mount. But, you know, buff a minion, and give it a free trade with the Divine Shield. I think we would call this average, because that's a pretty strong thing to do. Some games this will just sit in your hand, though, and you're not going to have anything to do with it. Sidon the Scarlet, 3 mana 2/2 legendary minion. Rush. Whenever this minion gains attack or health, double that amount, wherever this is. I don't think this is good. I think it could be good. If you play it, and you play Blessing of Kings, then all of a sudden you get a 3 mana 10/10 rush. Well, 7 mana 10/10 rush, right? But with all these ifs, like, you need to have the... Oh, Righteous Defense. Oh, don't even talk... Wash your mouth out with soap. Righteous Defense. Hella Seth. So Bannerman, obviously, is going to be the main hit for this, and that makes this a 3 mana 4/4 rush, which is solid. Like, you get 1 hit on this, and it'll be worth it. It's the getting of the 1 hit that's going to be the problem. Let's call this 2, and then you're only going to draft it on decks that have a lot of buffs. Alright, sound like a deal? Might even be 1.5, to be honest. 3 mana 2/2 is rough. Stone Hearth Vindicator, 3 mana 3/1 epic card. Battlecry, draw a spell that costs 3 or less. It costs 0 this turn. I mean, you're usually gonna have a spell that costs 3 or less. And being able to play it... Like, let's say the spell costs 3, you're essentially getting a card draw and a bonus 3/1 minion. That's the best case scenario. You might draw a 1-cost spell and you're a little bit sad. But I like drawing a spell. Drawing a spell is much nicer than drawing a minion, right? And the cool thing, well, it costs 0 this turn, so you do have to play it right away. I was gonna, yeah, so that's not amazing. 3? I don't know about that. I was thinking 2 or 2.5. Let's say 2.5, I think. Because it'll often be good, but you gotta be careful, I guess. And you know, sometimes you're gonna draw a spell that you don't want to play, and then you just lose the discount, but you keep the spell. That's fine. We'll call this 2.5. Friar with an occasional big upside. I guess when you put it that way, it might be pretty good. Maybe 3 is understandable. We'll stick with 2.5. Dunbaldar Bridge. 4 mana, rare spell. After you summon a minion, give it +2/+2. This card I think I like. But you need to have the deck for it. 3 turns. Let's say you play this on turn 4. The current turn counts as one of the turns, I assume. So turn 5, you play a minion. Turn 6, you play a minion. This is almost like a worst case scenario. Those minions both get buffs. That means you've spent 4 mana for 4/4 of stats. And sometimes specific minions getting buffed in that way is makes it nicer than a simple 4/4 of stats. Like if it's a Divine Shield minion. More often, on turn 10, you're gonna play this, play 2 more minions, play maybe 2 minions the next turn and 2 minions the turn after that. Then you're looking at 12 stats for 4 mana. And it includes summons. Ooh. I like this card. I'm gonna give it a 4. This might really mess some stuff up. I like the design of this card too. Yeah, it includes hero power. Oh, maybe it's better than 4. Like dudes for 3. I'll keep it at a strong 4 for now, but this might really tear some stuff up. Cavalry Horn, a weapon. 5 mana, 3/2 common. Death Rattle, summon the lowest cost minion in your hand. 5 mana, 3/2 weapon. Well, we would want a 3/2 weapon to be 3 mana. So basically, the 2 extra mana goes to the Death Rattle. Summon the lowest cost minion in your hand. Might be 2 mana, it might even out. Lowest cost minion in your hand by the time you play this might also be a Moarg. I don't love this. I don't think this is a great weapon. Because, like, what if you're about to pop the Death Rattle and then you top deck a crap minion, and your mana is such that you don't want to play that minion first, and... Laughing at the idea of swinging a horn as a weapon. Yeah, that is pretty funny, huh? I don't even know if this is as high as 2. I really don't like this weapon very much. I don't think it's... I'm gonna say 1.5 here. Not enamored with what this does. Protect the Innocent! 5 mana rare spell. Summon a 5/5 defender with taunt. If your hero is healed this turn, summon another. This is a 5 mana 5/5 with taunt, which is fine. True silver, that's true, silver. And we do have some healing support, right, in this set. And maybe you'll have like a 3 mana 3/3 heal. Or a 1 mana 2/1. I think this is a little better than 2 out of 5, because a 5 mana 5/5 taunt is perfectly acceptable. Like, what would be a comparable... Like, Warlock has that 6 mana 4/6 taunt. It's not amazing, but it's okay. The upside of this is incredible. Not gonna happen a lot, but... I think at least, I think we'll say at 2.5. I think that's fair. You'll draft this card and it'll be a 5 mana 5/5 with taunt, and that's fine. Light Forged Carriel, 7 mana hero, Battlecry, deal 2 damage to all enemies, equip a 2/5 immovable object, which is a weapon that doesn't lose durability. Your hero takes half damage rounded up. So not only is this an eternal weapon, but your hero takes half damage? That's really good. Deal 2 damage to all enemies is really good too. I think this is one of the better ones for the arena. So the hero power, 2 mana, give a random minion in your hand, +4/+4? Why is this hero so good? You clear the board with the Battlecry. Your weapon clears everything else that they play. And you're just hand buffing. Unbelievably hand buffing. $4.5 at least. This is gonna ruin some people's day in the arena. It feels a little bit like Frostlich in that way. Alright, now we're getting to the upsetting stuff. Brasswing, 8 mana 9/7 dragon, epic. At the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to all enemies. Honorable kill, restore 4 health to your hero. What? Excuse me? Rip Primordial Drake, rip Baron Geddon. Primordial Drake is an excellent card. It's excellent. And it does 2 damage AoE 1 time to the whole board, and it's got worse stats than this. And it doesn't have honorable kill. And it doesn't repeat every turn that this remains on the board. The only thing that it has that this doesn't is taunt. You don't need taunt if you're healing all of this. And this hits face, right? If this card dealt 2 damage to everyone, including your own face, it's still OP, but... Like, think about how good Despicable Dreadlord is, and think about how much better than that this is. Like, the only bad thing is that it costs 8 mana, but... Right, and it's a dragon, we're gonna be discovering it out of lackeys. It's a 5. It's no question a 5. It's unconscionable. Better than Twin Tyrant, question mark? And it's not like the opponent, it's not like if the opponent has a strong or a sticky board that they can hurry up and smork you down after you clear some of their stuff. Did you just heal your face? God, yowza. And here's the other one, Templar, I'll just keep this up. Templar Captain, 8 mana, 8/8, rush. It's rare. After this attacks a minion, summon a 5/5 defender with taunt. What? These two cards don't make any sense. After this attacks a minion, summon a 5/5 defender with taunt. What? 8 mana, 8/8 rush. That's already a good card. That's Burly Shovel Fist, but better. Because it comes out sooner, and you can do a hero power with it. So already we have better Burly Shovel Fist. And it summons a 5/5 defender with taunt every time this attacks a minion, which is probably going to be, I mean, it could be as many times as possible, but like, probably get at least 2 attacks in. And then after you have the 5/5 taunts out, you could send this face. Oh my god, I hate this. I hate it. Yeah, it's repeatable. And both of these cards, like, there's so much going on with them that you could take one or even two of the abilities away and they would still be strong. Okay. So the thing about Paladin is that a lot of these are pedestrian. Like, this is not great. This is fine. This could be good. This is fine. Like, the whole top row here is nothing special. But then you get down to these two cards, and do these two cards alone put it in S tier? I think the answer is yes. 2 cards out of 10. 2 out of 10 cards are so good that they push Paladin into S tier. Ridiculous. Like, mediocre, but these are just so excellent. You just got an alert that I went live? Well, thank God. Now you know. Now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Moving on to Priest. Sip of water. Gift of the Naaru. 1 mana, epic holy spell. Restore 3 health to all characters. I guess enemies as well. If any are still damaged, draw a card. This is like... This is, you know, like in Warrior when you draft that tradable card that just gives you armor and you never play it, you just use it to trade? This is like that. It has the downside of that it's conditional, but it also has the upside that sometimes you do want to heal your minions. So yeah, I mean, you're never going to play this if you don't get the draw. And you're going to draft it sometimes. 1 mana card draw is better than a 2 mana card draw. But I'm still not really in love with this card. I'm gonna say maybe like a 1.5 on the strong end. Pushing on 2. Shadow Word Devour. 1 mana, epic shadow spell. Choose a minion, it steals 1 health from all other minions. Now this is interesting. Similar to that demon for Demon Hunter, yeah, not really in the same heavyweight class. But say the opponent has a bunch of 1/1s on the board, you just kill them all and buff one of your minions. That's pretty nice. Yeah, and it kills from behind a Divine Shield. There's that 3 mana, 3/1 Divine Shield minion that would die. Yeah, it affects things behind taunts. That's good. The bad thing is if the opponent doesn't have a bunch of stuff on the board, you're just buffing a minion for like 2 health. Not amazing. I think that's a cool card. I'm going to say average. And it's gonna be probably like a high skill and or a high luck card for how good you can pull it off. Bless. Hashtag bless. 2 mana holy spell rare. Give a minion +2 health, then set its attack to be equal to its health. So we're going with the health buff, back to the health buff priest archetype, which is pretty fun archetype. So you put this on overconfident orc, and all of a sudden you have a 10/8. That's pretty good. A 10/8 free drop. If there's like the enemy has a 9/1 minion behind a taunt, you can turn it into a 3/3 minion. Hmm. I think this is very similar to this one in that it's so conditional. But oftentimes will be a very good buff for 2 mana. Let's say this is a 3 and I might be underestimating it. But I feel like this might be one of those buffs that's a bit hard to use consistently. Luminous Geodude. 2 mana, 1/4 common elemental. After a friendly minion is healed, give it +2 attack. You don't want to draft or play a 2 mana 1/4. And the ability that this has is pretty solid, but you have to like take a value trade and heal, and then that minion has to survive in some way. Like this buffs itself. I guess. Wait, does this work if something's at full health and then you heal it? Does it work? It would, right? Or does it work like that other geode where it has to have been damaged? Okay, it has to have been damaged. You put this out there, trades a little. All this priest stuff is so conditional. The upside's insane. Really? +2 attack is insane? The only insane upside I can imagine is in combination with a Holy Nova. Or in combination with this fella, right? That's what this is supposed to be for. I guess 2 mana 1/4 isn't the worst stat line in the world. I'm a skeptic about this card. I don't think it's very good. I'm gonna say 2. 2 with some upside. It's honestly a bit more of a tech card than a curve card. You can use it on curve sometimes, and it's just awkward. It's awkward is my problem with it. Might be 2.5. Deliverance. 3 mana. Oh, holy common. Deal 3 damage to a minion. Honorable kill. Summon a new 3/3 copy of it. Copy of the minion that you kill. So in a way, this is sort of like initiation. Like a more humble initiation. Ugh. You might use this sometimes without getting the honorable kill. In a pinch. I think I like this minion. Use 3 damage to kill like a that hunter bear, and all of a sudden you have a 3/3 taunt that summons 2/2/4 taunts on the board. This might be a little bit awkward to use, but I think I'm gonna give it a 4. The swing potential is very strong. And like I said, worst case scenario, it's 3 mana, deal 3, which is somewhat acceptable. 3 mana, Stormpike Aid Station, a rare spell. At the end of your turn, give your minions +2 health, lasts 3 turns. This strikes me as much worse than the +2/+2 whenever you summon a minion. Like, you need to have the board already, pretty much. Not really, I mean, you could flood the board and then they get buffed, and I just like this less than that card. But I guess what I mean is this is only better if you already have the board. Hmm. Hmm. I think 2 for this one. Pickable, but not impressive. Najak Hexen. 4 mana, 1/4 legendary. Battlecry. Take control of an enemy minion. Death Rattle, give the minion back. I don't know if this is the strongest legendary, but it's fun. Let's say you're taking control of a Scrapyard Colossus. You're not really gonna have to give it back. Yeah, you could take a rush. You take a taunt. They have to kill it to kill the Hexen. You draft Hexen, you draft that 2 mana 2/3 that silences adjacent minions. You never have to give the minion back. You draft Youthful Brewmaster, you bounce Najak, so then you get to keep the minion, and you get to take another one. You take Taunt or Lifesteal so that you can get to lethal. One mana silence. Does that silence your own stuff too? I thought that was just the enemy's board. You're talking about Shard of the Naru. No, I don't think it does. Yeah, I could definitely see you using like a 4 mana 3/4 silence in combination with this. Oh, you're talking about the one that buffs the health. Yes. That would work. Yeah, that would be a good combination. I think this is a cool card. How good is it though? There's a lot of combos I can think of. But you'll have games where you're looking to use it and then it's never really good. Worst case scenario, you give an opponent's minion summoning sickness for a turn, right? It's like you freeze it. 4 mana for a 1/4 that freezes is too expensive, of course, but that's a worst case scenario. What happens if this is Potion of Madness? The opponent would get their minion back, I assume. Like if this dies. Like if you take Colossus and then they Potion of Madness and run it into the Colossus, yeah. I'll say 3.5 for this. I think that it's got promising upside that will be worth experimenting with. Maybe it's a little high, but I don't know. It reminds me of something like Maiev. 5 out of 5. I don't think so. 5 out of 5? You're saying this is as good as those Paladin cards? Those Paladin cards that are good no matter what game you're playing, no matter what the board state is? Nah. Could be good, though. Spirit Guide. 5 mana, 5/5 common, taunt, death rattle, draw a holy spell, and a shadow spell? Whoa. Oh, this is terrifying. Hmm. I mean, you need to have the deck for it, but yeah, I am gonna say 4.5 here. Like, it's conditional, like some of the cards that I say it makes it worse that they're conditional, but Priest is a class entirely built around drafting holy and shadow spells. So you're gonna be good to go unless you just have an atrocious deck. And if you have an atrocious deck, it's 5 mana, 5/5 taunt, which is, like I said before, fine. You're at least gonna get one spell out of it, right? I think 5 mana, 5/5 draw 2 with taunt and 2 spells specifically. Yeah, I stand by 4.5. I think this is a 4.5. Wow, that's low key really strong. Undying Disciple. Can I let you into the house? Your mom is calling me. I assume about the same thing? Alright, well, hold on a second, chat. 6 mana, let it be inside. But bees can only come inside if they're invited. 6 mana, 3/7 rare. Taunt. Death Rattle, deal damage equal to this minion's attack to all enemy minions. Wait, this is just that stupid... what is that card? This is just that card. Tunnel Blaster. This is just better Tunnel Blaster. They've run out of ideas. They just... They're like, well, Tunnel Blaster seems not so good anymore. Let's just make it only the enemy minions that take the damage. What's up, Ben? I mean, obviously... Okay, so Tunnel Blaster is 7 mana, 3/7, Death Rattle, 3 damage to the entire board. And that is an okay card. I've seen some streamers use it to good effect. I know Sponge likes that card. It really stops up the game sometimes. This is only enemy minions. It's 1 mana cheaper. And buffs matter, as -1 says. So, like, if you're gonna take... this card, Bless. Hashtag Bless. And if you're gonna put Bless on this card, all of a sudden you have a 6 mana, I guess 8 mana, 9/9, Taunt, Death Rattle, deal damage equal to this minion's attack to all enemy minions. So nothing's gonna survive this. Nothing's gonna survive this. And the beauty is, like, with Tunnel Blaster, the huge downside is you can't really play this and then flood the board. But this, at 6 mana, you can play this, put down 2/2 and the enemy gets wiped out, and you already have a force on the board that you can add to next turn. I think it's another 4.5. This is gonna be a pain in the boot to deal with. Heroes, Zarella the Devout, 8 mana, legendary. Battlecry, trigger the death rattle of every friendly minion that died this game. And the hero power, 2 mana, restore 5 health, flip each turn. 2 mana, deal 5 damage. Well, that's kind of fun. It's pretty good, right? Like, take a turn to mess up the opponent, have a turn to heal yourself. If you want to mess up the opponent, but it's your healing turn, you just heal and wait till next turn. The death rattles, I mean, that's probably good, right? Dark Spear Berserkers. 8 mana, though. And you're not really, like, you're not guaranteed to do anything the turn that you play it. It's like a 3, maybe a 2.5, I don't know. I don't care. Alright, and that is Priest. Priest is an interesting melange. Like, a lot of the cards feel awkward, but in tandem, they can do some nasty stuff, which is not an uncommon approach to Priest. So, you know, looking through here, again, so often it's the big cards in this set that are the effective ones, which is not always true of the set releases. But the small cards here, pretty awkward. Bless and Devour in tandem are really potentially devastating as well. We didn't talk about that. And that's okay. And this just, you know what, this actually gets better given all of this, because the more health that you're buffing, the better that this gets, and better that this gets, and... I like this. I think it seems fun, and these two are really strong. I think Priest is A. I think Priest is solidly A. And is it better than Hunter? I think it might be. Because the thing about Hunter is you have these two really good cards, but the rest are kind of mediocre. I think it's pretty clear that Priest, you have these two really good cards, and everything else is above mediocre, right? These might be close to S, but I don't think it's quite there. We'll put it at high A. Rogue. Forsaken Lieutenant, 2 mana, 2/2 epic. Stealth, after you play a Death Rattle minion, become a 2/2 copy of it with Rush. Interesting. So, 2 mana, 2/2 stealth, as I've said before, by itself, not great, but not the worst thing in the world. Curves into Loan Shark? Well, that's true. And then if you play a Death Rat, like, you can either play it the same turn, or you can wait, because it has stealth, and just kind of wait until you play a Death Rattle. I like this card. You gotta have the Death Rattles in your deck, but if you draft this and then whiff on the Death Rattles, that's like, it's not like useless, right? Stealth is always a little useful. Org, Pog, Colossus, Poe. Yeah, Colossus. Whew. Whoa. Org is okay, and you get armor. 3 is fair. It's above average, slightly conditional. It might be a 3.5 even. But for now, we'll say 3. And it really also depends on how common Death Rattle cards are in the meta. Renaissance. 2 mana, common spell. Discover a Death Rattle minion from another class, it costs 2 less. Well, these two go together, of course. Discovering a Death Rattle minion, that's very good, typically, and it costs 2 less, takes away the downside of this card, which is that you don't want to spend 2 mana just to generate 1 card all the time. Yeah, this seems fun, it seems strong. Like, Death Rattle minions are usually really good. You can use this on turn 2 and bank the Death Rattle for later. You could use it on turn 10 and play the Death Rattle right away. I think this is a 4. Not gonna, you know, have the most meteoric impact, but I think it's gonna make the class better. I think that sometimes you're gonna find what you need to take control of the game. The Lobotomizer. 2 mana, 2/2 epic weapon. So this ability is gonna have to be really good to be worth it, because we're in Rogue, and it costs 2 mana to get a weapon for any time. Honorable kill, get a copy of the top card of your opponent's deck. It's too awkward. You'll draft it, and it'll be fun, and it'll give you value. But it's just awkward. You only get 1 more attack than Dagger. A weapon that generates cards is really good, though. I'm skeptical, and we'll call it 2.5. It does give info. That's true. The information you get, yeah. It draws you 2 cards if you kill a 2 hero health power target. What? It draws you 2 cards if you kill a 2 health target. No. Draws you 1. I don't understand what you're saying. Do you mean if you kill two health targets? Over 2 charges. Okay, alright. Well then, yes. It's just like the weapon part is kind of negligible because, like I said, you get the dagger already. So you're spending 2 mana to get 2 cards, maybe. Eh. 2.5 is fine. Cold Tooth Yeti. 3 mana, 1/5 common. Combo, gain +3 attack. So it's a Yeti that you have to combo and it's cheaper. This seems like a lot of work. This is Blizzard's balance patch for coin disadvantage. Coin this out on 3, pretty dope. But if you're going first, it's a Yeti that you can't play on curve. Like like Yeti, you get 4. With Yeti, you get 4/5 of stats out on turn 4. With this card, you're probably not getting that 4/5 of stats out until later, right? So in a way, it's not a curve card. Again, unless you're going second. So I have pretty mixed feelings about this. Still 3 mana for 4/5 is nice. It gives us another 2.5. And if you're on coin, this is just sometimes going to win you the game. Yeah, you keep it on coin and you toss it if you're going first. Maybe it's a 3. Double Agent, 3 mana, 3/3 common, Battlecry. If you're holding a card from another class, summon a copy of this. Dual class meta? This is not worth it. Rogue, more than anything, is good at generating cards from other classes, but a 3 mana, 3/3 with the potential to double up, I don't think is worth it. In fact, I would even call this a 1.5. Let's say you have 3 cards in your deck that generate stuff from other classes, and you use one of them on curve. Then maybe you get this out on turn like 5 or 6 and it makes 2 3/3s. Yeah. Snowfall Graveyard, 3 mana, rare spell. Your death rattles trigger twice, lasts 3 turns. 2 conditional. This is a constructed card. If you Swashbuckler into this card, that would be very strong, yes. But it is one very specific draft and draw order. Your death rattles trigger twice. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. It lasts 3 turns, but how many death rattles are you realistically going to be able to play and have die during that time? Maybe a couple, maybe a few. But more often than not, you're just going to be staring at this in your hand. 0.5 or 1. I don't know, I guess it depends on the death rattle landscape. I don't think I'm going to be wanting to draft this very much. Seraphim Fleet Runner, 5 mana, 5/5 legendary. Battlecry, replace your minions in hand and deck with ones from other classes that cost 2 less. You're just not gonna be playing Arena anymore because your deck won't be what you drafted. Is this worth it? Shadow Council for 5? I disagree. Because the reason Shadow Council is... Well, there's a couple reasons it's good, but the main reason it's good is that you're only getting demons. So here, these are cheaper, and you don't get the buff. Cheaper Explorer and Goro. Last pick after a terrible draft. Yeah, you could pick this if you got Neutral Stone. Worth it? No, but I would die for this card. Fair. Fair. And maybe strong in grindy games. So you're thinking of it like a worse Lady Prester? If it's a grindy game, is the mana discount on these minions that you're drawing really gonna matter that much? I say 2. I'm not impressed. Like, are the like by the time you play this, maybe you play it like on turn 5 and then your hand has a bunch of cheap stuff in it. But what if it's cheap crap? Like, the stars have to align. And if you play it later in the game and then you're top decking, then the discount doesn't matter anyway. And instead of getting cards you drafted, they're just going to be random minions. I think this is bad. But fun. For sure. Do not deny that. Her eyes. Jeez. Ugh. Anyway, 5 mana, Contraband Stash, rare. Replay 5 cards from other classes you've played this game. Alright. Do I have to, like, say anything about this? I'm glad I never have to draft this, so I don't have to look at their faces. Wild Paw Gnol, 5 mana, 4/5 rush. Costs 1 less for each card you've added to your hand from another class. What is with this other class stuff they're really pushing for Rogue? They want some Casino Rogue. They want some Thief Rogue. 5 mana, 4/5 rush. That's Anchorman, but actually Anchorman got buffed, so this is worse than Anchorman and doesn't draw you a card. 1. You'll draw it? Sorry, you'll draw it. You'll draft it sometimes just because rush minions are kind of important. Maybe 1 is ungenerous. Is a rush minion... A rush minion might make it worth 1.5 in and of itself. You value trade with a 4/4 or 3/4. But I don't like it. Shadowcrafter Scabs, 7 mana hero. Battlecry, return all minions to their owner's hands. Summon 2 4/2 shadows with stealth. Now that's a good Battlecry. That's a Battlecry that can demolish a board. And they get 2 4/2 shadows with stealth. That's really good in the arena. Hero power. 0 mana, the next card you play this turn costs 2 less. Again with the discounts, and this one, unlike most, I think that the Battlecry is great and the hero power is crap. But this Battlecry alone, it's a whole board removal that also summons shit for you. It's like Cycle of Hatred. Of course, if they have Battlecry minions, they get them back, but... We'll call it a 4 for that reason. And that's it for Rogue. Rogue, honestly, some fun stuff, but in terms of card quality, pretty disappointing. Lobotomizer is fun, but I don't think it's good because you have Dagger. It could get you value, but it's not always going to be able to. Unlike Demon Hunter, you can't add a hero power to add attack to make the honorable kill easier. The Lieutenant, you need to have the Death Rattles with you. The Reconnaissance. This is one of the better ones, I think. This is generally pickable and playable in the arena, and it's going to help you out a lot. This one depends on if you go first or second. I think this one's bad. This one's terrible. This one's absolutely unplayable. Super mediocre. Who cares? And I don't think that's even good. Boy, is Rogue an F? I think Rogue might be an F. Like when Reconnaissance is your best card? By a fair margin? Yeah, you're kind of in trouble here. Damn. Yeah, rough times for Rogue. Chamois. 1 mana Wind Chill spell. Frost spell. Common. Freeze a minion, draw a card. Right, so we're doing freeze shaman stuff again. I like this. I like the 1 mana 2/1 freeze something. This can't freeze face though. But you get a card draw out of it. Yeah, I'm a fan of this. I think this is 3.5 worthy. Shaman, you definitely want that card draw. And freeze is pretty all-purpose. And freeze combos, I'm sure, are coming here. Frostbite, 2 mana common frost spell. Deal 3 damage, honorable kill. Your opponent's next spell costs 2 more. I like this too. I like this because it's burn. It goes face, which is fantastic. This is like better than Drain Soul, right? And Drain Soul's good. Making your opponent's next spell cost 2 more. Like, if you do this in the early game, they play a 2/3, you play Frostbite, they were gonna coin a 4-drop, and they just can't anymore. You deal 3 damage to something, play some minions, you play into AoE, but you make the AoE too expensive. And if you don't care about the honorable kill, you don't have to care about the honorable kill. I really like this card. Is it a 3.5 or a 4? I'm gonna say a slightly weak 4, actually, because there's not really any downside to taking and using this. Making spells more expensive is super obnoxious. Because spells are like the big swings, right? Like, spells are the way that you contest the opponent, and if your spell is coming down 2 turns too late, probably not gonna have the impact that you want it to. And you're gonna be able to play less minions around it, fewer minions. Sleepbreaker, 2 mana 3/2 elemental rare. Battlecry, add a Wind Chill to your hand. Wind Chill is... Oh, it's that card. Oh, this is awesome. This is great. 2 mana 3/2 that gives you not only a freeze, but an additional draw? This is a 4 as well. Shaman's killing it so far. There's no downside to this. It's an elemental as a bonus, and you can freeze something, and you can draw. Like, you play this to start a 10 mana turn, and then you play the next card, and all of a sudden you've nullified one of your opponent's minions, and with 7 mana left, you've potentially drawn another card that can really help you. I think that's at least a 4. That's very strong. Cheaty Snowbolt, 3 mana 3/4, epic. After an enemy is frozen, deal 3 damage to it. Yeah, with all the frost synergy, the freeze synergy that we're seeing so far, I think, 3 mana 3/4, great baseline. And decent amount of the time, this is going to be 3 damage. We'll say 3. We were given like 2.5 for 3 mana 3/4s. We'll say 3 for this one. And it can go face, by the way. Snowball Fight. 3 mana frost spell, epic. Deal 1 damage to a minion and freeze it. If it survives, repeat this on another minion. Oh, dang. But you target the first damage. Okay, chat, how does this work? It seems like you target the first damage, and then every subsequent damage is random. Is that so? Correct, okay. Yeah, this can still hit the same minion that was frozen already. So if the opponent has a pretty wide board with a lot of health, you play this, and it's sort of like that, you know that card? Remember that one? What was that one called? Bladed disc, or whatever? Bouncing Blade. Sort of like Bouncing Blade, but much better, because the problem with Bouncing Blade is that even though it weakened the opponent's board significantly, it would only kill 1 minion. This is so much better because you weaken the opponent's board significantly, and you freeze all their shit. So you have time to maneuver, you have time to play stuff to counter their stuff. And with all the freeze synergy, actually freeze Shaman looking viable in Arena? What is this? What is this malarkey? I love it. I love freeze. I'm all about Shaman now. I think this is, I think it's at least a 4. I think it's at least a 4. Wild Paw and of course the problem is this doesn't work, like, there are a lot of board states this doesn't work in, so you're gonna be staring at it in your hand a lot. So it is probably a 4, not higher, but I like it. Wild Paw Cavern, 4 mana, rare spell. At the end of your turn, summon a 3/4 elemental that freezes. Lasts 3 turns. Why is this so much better than that other card that I liked with the Stealth Wolves? Why is this so much better? A 4 mana 3/4 that freezes is already fine. But 3 of them? 3 of them? Yes, the 4 mana 3/4s that freeze do freeze, it's true. Jeez. Is this another 5? God, I think it's a 5. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, Julian, precisely. I try to be stingy with my 5s, but you're talking about 9, 12 worth of stats split up over time and 3 bodies, and all of those bodies freeze. This is just gonna ruin days. This is gonna ruin days. You play this and you have all that freeze synergy in this set. The archetype is real. 5 mana, 3/3 Snowfall Guardian, elemental common minion. Battlecry, freeze all other minions, gain +1/+1 for each frozen minion. Alright, your opponent's got 2 minions on the board, you play this, you got a 5/5, and you freeze their stuff. I think this is good too. Like, your board probably wants to be empty, not necessarily. Not necessarily, though. You could do, like, Frost Rider and just not attack first. Don't attack, freeze their stuff, gain a bunch of health and attack. It's an elemental. Is this at least a 4 as well? Oh my god, Shaman, what? Shaman, what? The era of freeze Shaman? The Ice Age, folks. Against Shaman, you cannot go face and leave them with the board. They'll freeze you out and counter lethal so often. It's funny, this was already the case with Shaman in recent metas, because you had Canal Slugger, you had stuff like Dunk Tank, you had stuff like Tidal Wave. All sorts of things that halt you and then gain a bunch of health. Now that win con for Shaman of halting the opponent's assault is going to be exacerbated with all this freeze. It's going to be a pain to try to kill Shamans. Glaciate. 6. Everything is freeze. Well, this is not the good kind, I guess. 6 mana. Rare Frost spell. Discover an 8-cost minion. Summon it and freeze it. Now, this means that it won't be able to attack next turn, correct? Because otherwise it would just be summoning sickness. So you're gonna want 8-cost minions with taunt, probably. This is one of the less good ones. It's still okay, though. Oh, unless it has rush, true. Then it would only be 1 turn. Trying a little hard, huh? Trying a little hard on this one. Oh, it has to do with ice, so yeah, we'll make a reference to the, yeah. Haha. Anyway. 2.5? Like, at 6 mana, discovering an 8-cost card, really good. The freeze makes it a long time before, in some cases, it'll be efficacious. Like, it would make sense if this card was called Ice Cool or something, but it's called Glaciate. Like, this could literally go on any of these. Like, you could put that on any of these cards, and it would make sense. That's how generic it is. 0.5 for flavor text. Baron Glacier. 7 mana, 6/6, legendary elemental. Battlecry. For each frost spell you've cast this game, summon a 3/4 elemental that freezes. Now, let's see how many of these. That's frost. This isn't, for some reason. That is. So one of those that you need to have the deck for it, otherwise it whiffs. But honestly, you've played one frost spell, it's already worth it. Like, don't sleep on 3/4 elementals that freeze, chat. That's a strong body. I think, damn, I don't know. I think we could call this a 3 and be a bit uncertain about how often it's gonna proc. But if you get a deck with a few frost spells in it, even just one of them before this makes it worth it. Maybe 2.5. Broken of the elements. 8 mana hero, Battlecry, call upon the power of 2 elements. Okay. Hero power, 2 mana, call upon a different element every turn. I don't understand. Like, these are random? Or you pick from all of them? Or you discover between 3 of them? I don't understand, and I don't care. Alright, that's Shaman. You get to pick from them for the Battlecry. Yeah. Shaman, I gotta say, Wind Chill, good. Frostbite, great. You get Wind Chill with Frostbite. Sorry, I mean with Sleepbreaker you get Wind Chill. Frostbite, another good card. Just generally strong. Frost spells here. Frozen upside. Freeze everything. You get the upside with the Snowballed. You play Snowball Fight into Snowballed, and you're happy. You get the Wild Paw Cavern, just building up freezes every turn. It's gonna be maddening to face Shaman, right? Like, unless you don't ever get any of these cards in combination, it's gonna be infuriating. Can't pick 2 of the same for the Battlecry, then Hero Power is one that you didn't pick, then random after that. Okay. I rate this question mark. But yeah, like, this is totally fine. This is fine, and then I guess, like, these could be a little bit better. But overall, maybe I think this is S tier. None of the cards are remotely as good as the top 2 Paladin cards, but they all make each other stronger in tandem. And I do think that Shaman is above Priest here. I really like how functional a lot of these are. The Priest cards don't seem so functional. They seem like brutal, but not so functional. And these are really just game to game functional with upside potential if you get them in combination. Demon Hunter gets worse because of yeah. Being frozen all the time sucks. Alright, on to Warlock. Alright, 2 more classes. Oh, Grave Defiler, 1 mana, 2/1 common card, Battlecry, copy a Fel spell in your hand. You get a decent amount of Fel spells, but you don't want a 1 mana, 2/1. Gonna give this a 2. Definitely worth drafting in certain decks. And copying Fel spells is nice, but yeah, a lot of the time this will be a 1 mana, 2/1, you're just not gonna play it. Seeds of Destruction, 2 mana Fel spell, rare. Shuffle 4 Rifts into your deck. They summon a 3/3 Dread Imp when drawn. So this is like all these shuffle cards, except this doesn't come with a body and it's cheaper. Is this worth it? It's 4 rather than 3. You have tap and Warlock. I'm gonna say 2.5. Doesn't come with a body, which makes it worse, but you could probably find time to squeeze this in. Desecrated Graveyard, 3 mana rare spell. At the end of your turn, destroy your lowest attack minion to summon a 4/4 Shade. Lasts 3 turns. I don't like this. You're not always gonna want to destroy your lowest attack minion. Are you just, like, not gonna play certain cards because they have low attack then? Like... Yeah, I for 4/4s, I don't think it's worth it. That's stupid. I'm gonna say 0.4. Didn't mean to, but that's what I'm gonna say. Full-blown evil. 3 mana, Fel spell. Looks sad next to the Shaman run, right? Like, Shaman, it doesn't make any sense to me how they could both be in the same release. Like, Shaman gets 3/4 freezes for free, and this destroys your shit to make 4/4s, which are worse than 3/4 freezes. Are you meant to hit eggs? Probably. Probably it's something like that. Full-blown evil, 3 mana, Fel spell, rare. Deal 5 damage, randomly split among all enemy minions. Repeatable this turn. Why isn't this called Echo? Like, if you're gonna make a keyword, you may as well use it. It doesn't make any sense to me. So actually, this is 5 damage randomly split among enemy minions, not enemies, which makes it better. First I was skeptical, but if the opponent has a 10 health board and you 6 mana clear it, not bad. Play it once. You kill a Sunwell. So we'll say a 3, a cautiously optimistic 3 for this one. Sacrificial Summoner. 3 mana, 3/3 epic card. Battlecry, destroy a friendly minion. Summon a minion from your deck that costs 1 more. In Arena, I think this could work. I think, like, the other summoner that destroys a minion and resummons it, that's a pretty good card, right? It requires you to have the board a little bit. But if you make a value trade, destroy like an expensive card, or even if you play that 6-drop, the 1/1 summons the 6/6, then you just destroy the 1/1 and get a 7-drop for free. I think this is pretty good. This is maybe at least a 4. It might even be better than that. Hamson's Phylactery, 4 mana shadow spell, legendary. Discover a friendly death rattle minion that died this game. Give your minions its death rattle. Pretty cool. Like, you could just win the game with this card if you have the right situation. And it's Discover, right? It's not even random. Go wide. Get a bunch of 5/5 lifesteal death rattles. It's so situational that I'm gonna call it a 4, but I think that the upside of this is potentially extreme. Spellfire in the hole! 5 mana Fel spell, epic. Draw a spell and deal 2 damage to all enemies. If it's a Fel spell, deal 1 more. The tap is typically 2 mana. It's a little better than tap because it's a spell. Let's say 2.5 mana, and that means 2.5 mana is deal 2 damage to all enemies. Deal 2 damage to all enemies for 2.5 mana. It's typically 3 mana, like Volcanic Potion, right? So overall, I think this is pretty good value. And you get an extra damage if it's a Fel spell, which you can sometimes predict. What happens if you have no spells? It'll just deal 2 damage to all enemies. In fact, this is even a little better than Volcanic Potion because Volcanic Potion is the whole board, right? It's a nice way to deal with the board, draw a card that could potentially be immediately useful. I'm gonna say 3.5, but it might be a 4. Hollow Abomination, 5 mana, 2/8 common. Battlecry, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. Honorable kill, gain the minion's attack. It's a 5, right? Or is it a 4.5 because it's a little bit conditional? They went with a lot of cards that have AoE only to enemy minions. It's gonna make the meta even swingier, right? It's gonna make things extremely swingy. Like, you're never really gonna be able to be confident anymore. Am I crazy for calling this a 5? Because think about how good Dreadlord is, Despicable Dreadlord. Or even Dread Infernal, right? This has 8 health. You deal, let's say, like, you get a Moarg down to 1 health, you play this, and all of a sudden you have a 5 mana 10/8 that killed a Moarg. Like, it's just 1 damage to all enemy minions is... Like, by itself, 5 mana 2/8 that deals 1 damage to all enemy minions, that's a perfectly good card. I think I'm gonna stand by 5 here. This is not one that I've seen a lot of people talking about, but oof. Is it Roadhog? Dreadlick Hamson. 6 mana hero, Battlecry, deal 3 damage to all minions. Shuffle 3 rifts into your deck, draw 3 cards. That's strong. Chains of Dread, 2 mana, hero power, shuffle rift into your deck, draw a card. Okay, that's just really strong. 4.5. Yep, good, great, strong, whatever. Yep, we'll look at neutrals. Spellwalker, 6 mana, 3/7 demon common. Taunt Battlecry, cast the highest cost spell from your hand. Stat-wise, what do we think? I mean, stat-wise, it's not great. It's situational. The demon, which is good. I mean, what are you gonna, like, Felfire? You don't really want to do that. Yeah, are you really gonna want to cost them randomly? I'm gonna say 2, and sometimes you'll do some fun stuff with it. Okay. Warlock stuff, it's more in the middle. I hate this. Not super impressed by these. This is the first one I thought was good, and this is the first one I think could be really good. It's got a potential very nice use, albeit situational. The one that I'm really liking is the Hollow Abomination here. So one really, really good card. The rest okay to good. I think this one might be great. That probably puts Warlock... here? Bottom of B? Is Druid better? No, I think Warlock is better. I think Warlock is better and more flexible, more exciting. Probably not as good as Mage, though. Cool. Final class. Warrior. Warrior. Frozen Buckler, 2 mana, epic frost spell. Gain 10 armor. At the start of your next turn, lose 5 armor. Get out of my house. Get out of my house, dumb armor card. Iceblood Garrison. It's the guy who draws those political cartoons. 2 mana rare spell. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to all minions. Last 3 turns. This is not that good either. It's all minions, not just enemy minions. If it was enemy minions, it might be okay. Picture needs more labeling, right? What? I don't understand. What is this? Is this a house? Is it a shack? Is it a shed? Help me out here. Would have assumed this would be to all enemy minions, right? It's weird. Warrior getting off to just a really great start here. I could see this being a 1 if you're trying to be big-brained about it, but who needs that? To the front, 2 mana rare spell. Your minions cost 2 less this turn, but not less than 1. Okay. God. Doing great, Warrior. Things are gonna be real good for you this meta, I think. 0, 0.5, 0.5 for the first 3. That's embarrassing. Glory Chaser. Three mana, 4/3 common. After you play a taunt minion, draw a card. This is subpar stats with a potential card draw upside. But if you're just gonna sit around waiting for you to be able to play it with taunt minions, it's a 2. It's a shaky 2. Crapsmith, 3 mana, 2/4 common, taunt. Battlecry, add 2/4 grunts with taunt to your hand. I assume they're like, what? The 3 mana? Solid value. Not any better than 2.5, that's for sure. It's nice to generate taunt minions, but it's so expensive. Like, you spend 3 mana, sorry, you spend 9 mana to play 3 2/4s? I feel like it's a 2. It's better than the other 2 that we just saw, but I still feel like it's a 2. 3 mana 2/4. Like, you have to play 3 of them. Not good stat lines here. Snowed In, 3 mana Frost Epic spell. Destroy a damaged minion, freeze all other minions. So this is execute with freeze attached. Problem is that it's all other minions, but again, it doesn't have to be a problem if you're careful. I'll say a 3.5 here. It could be a decent comeback card. Axe Berserker, 4 mana, 3/5 common, rush, honorable kill, draw a weapon. I think 4 mana, 3/5 rush is average. Draw a weapon as an upside is nice. Yeah, right, exactly. That's sort of what I was alluding to, Mifundi, like being smart about it. Like, if you don't attack with your minions, then you definitely have advantage there. With freezing everything. It's nice to draw a weapon if you have it. Some warrior weapons aren't even weapons, though. They're minions. I'm gonna call this, 2.5 verging on 3. Not super impressed, but you'll take it. You'll use it. You'll like it. Captain Galvangar, 6 mana, 6/6 legendary. Battlecry, if you have gained 15 or more armor this game, gain +3/+3 and charge. This is cringe. You really gonna gain 15 or more armor in a game? You can if you got Moargs. But then this comes down so late. So like long games this might be useful, otherwise it's a 6 mana 6/6. 2 for me. Just draft Mr. Smite. Draft Mr. Smite. I understand now what that first card is for, but... yeah. Rakara the Valorous. Battlecry, equip a 5/2 Unstoppable Force. After you attack a minion, smash it into the enemy hero. Oh, wow. That's strong. Hero power, 2 mana, deal 2 damage, honorable kill, gain 4 armor. This is fine, as far as those heroes go. But you feel stupid about giving that 10 armor spell a 0. Yeah, I feel dumb. Shield Shatter. 10 mana, rare frost spell. Deal 5 damage to all minions. Cost 1 less for each armor you have. If you're in a situation where you need this AoE, you're not going to have any armor. So what you're looking at here is Chaos Nova for 10 mana. It's 2. Like, it's AoE, you'll draft it. Warrior needs the AoE. It'll use it. You'll use it, but then you won't be able to play anything after it, and it's kind of like... you just brawled or something. Alright, this is gonna be a straightforward one. That is a real F. Some Fs in the chat for Warrior. Significantly worse than Rogue's F. Rogue has playable stuff. Warrior has... what is playable here? No. 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 Nah. This is playable. This is playable. This is playable. Kind of this. Not impressed at all. Yikes, Warrior. Yikes. So here's our tier list for the new set. I knew going into it... all I knew going into this card review was that Paladin would be on top. And that ended up being the case. And it's just because of those 2 busted cards that are gonna win almost every game you see them come down. Can I make a command for this tier list? I can. Shall I? Probably not. Oh, I guess you could just type it out. Yeah, if you want to do that -1. I was thinking the command would be a link to an imager with this image on it. That's too cumbersome, but if you want to type it out, that's fine. Yeah, we knew Paladin would be on top. It's gonna suck facing Paladins. Paladin in this last mini set was exactly the same. It got 2 cards that are way more powerful than any other class got. But the surprise for me was how cool Shaman seems up at S tier with all the freeze synergies. I heard Freeze Shaman was coming back, and I didn't expect anything remotely so functional for Arena. But there you are. How do you beat Paladins knowing they have those cards? A lot of the time, you're just going to have to pray that they don't have them. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, just pray. Like, yeah, how do you play around them? You don't. You don't play around the 8/8 rush. Maybe put stealth poisons down or something? You don't really play around the dragon either. Because if you're playing around the 8/8 rush, it's the opposite of how you would play around the dragon. Hey there, Camilo. Thanks, -1. Yeah, okay. So, and Priest and Hunter look good, which is exciting to me, because I love Priest and Hunter. Seems like they've got some really strong tools in there. Mage, Warlock, and Druid in the B tier. The Druid is definitely the weakest. Nothing too exciting out of Druid, just some solid stuff. Mage and Warlock have some tricks to pull. Demon Hunter, not impressed at all. Rogue just seems generally bad because it's all about having cards from other classes. And Warrior is kind of unforgivably bad. I mean, it has to do with armor stuff, and that's just not ever going to be appealing in Arena. So, there you go. Doing well, just finishing up a new set review. You just gotta get through the neutral cards now. Gnome Private. Oh. I mean, I was expecting Gnome Public, but guess we get a window into the private life of Gnome. 1 mana, 1/3 common card, honorable kill, gain +2 attack. I guess this is just as boiled down and standard as honorable kill can get. Play this on turn 1. If you kill a dude, this becomes a 3/2. Solid, cool. 1 mana, 1/3. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna call this average because the honorable kill is not gonna pop off very often, but Iron Deep Trog, 1 mana, 1/2 rare. After your opponent casts a spell, summon a copy of this. This is trash. Why do I want a copy of this? Why would the opponent not just kill it and then cast a spell? I mean, the idea is that you buff it up, right? But otherwise, it's a 1 mana, 1/2, and don't really care about that. 0.5 for the Trog. Ivus, the Forest Lord. 1 mana, 1/1 legendary. Battlecry, spend the rest of your mana and gain +2/+2. Rush, Divine Shield, or Taunt at random for each. So you play this on turn 10, you get 9 procs for these things. But Rush, Divine Shield, and Taunt, like, those are gonna be redundant. Like, you can't get any of them twice. So the sweet spot would be to play this for what? Like, the thing is, this is not gonna be good if you miss the +2/+2s. Oh, you can't re-roll the same one twice. Oh, that changes things. That changes things entirely. I was thinking you could roll Divine Shield 9 times. In that case, this might be a good card. So you're probably gonna have Rush, Divine Shield, and Taunt. And then let's say you play it on turn 5, it happens 4 times, so you might get a 3/3 that has those things. And then 4 more, 8, 8, 9, 9. 4 more, 11, 11 with these things. If you played on turn 10, it should probably be really good. Right, so it's okay, so math. 9 hits. Play it on turn 10, you get 9 hits. 3 of them are keywords. That means you get 6 instances of +2/+2 unless you get extremely unlucky. And then you would get 7 instances of it. Or maybe that would be lucky, I don't know. Depends. And that's +12/+12. So this is a 10 mana, 13/13 Rush Divine Shield taunt. I'm missing the cost of the card? How? You get 9 procs. Is what I said, right? Turn 10, you get 9 procs. Eight procs. No? On turn 9, you get 8 procs. Why would you get only 8 procs on turn 10? That would leave you with 1 mana left over. No, I was saying on turn 10 you get the 9 procs. Okay. So then, yeah, it's as I said. Which is strong. It's really strong. But you have to dedicate your whole turn to it if you want that Mega Beast. Otherwise, like, you could play like a 2 or a 3 drop or a spell and then bolster it with this. This seems cool and fun. I'm gonna call this 4. But I'm really gonna have to play with it to feel it out. Corporal. So this is like military themed set. Good, I love the military. 2 mana, 2/3 common. Honorable kill, give your other minions Divine Shield. Whoa. Now this is a lot better than this fella. Giving your other minions Divine Shield is a huge upside. Thing is, this has to stick, unless you have like Broomstick or something. What about a Druid with 20 mana? Ah ha ha! Oh, that is why they printed that probably, huh? Play this on 2, play a 3-drop, kill something honorably. You got a 3-drop with a Divine Shield. I think this is strong. 3.5 even? Because, like, it doesn't have downsides. 2 mana, 2/3, and you can sneak it in sometimes and make things really difficult for your opponent. Gangster. Oh, she's cute. 2 mana, 4/2 common cards, stealth. After your opponent plays a minion, attack it. The thing is, what's good about stealth is that you don't give your opponent access to the card, and this takes that away. This is only good if your opponent is forced into a play, right? But all they have to do is play like a 2-drop to get rid of this. But then 2-drops trade equally. It might be really annoying, actually, now that I think of it, because they might just not have a minion in hand that counters it well, and then whatever they play gets a chunk of 4 out of it. The beast that did that 7 mana 9/9? I don't remember. This one I'm finding difficult to evaluate. I'll just kind of say 2. It's a 2 mana 4/2, which is good. Let's say 2.5 and then just kind of feel it out. Oh yeah, the Swamp King Dread. No, wrong way. Ram Commander. Man, they love rams. Blizzard loves rams. Makes the computers go. 2 mana 2/2 common. Battlecry, add 2 1/1 rams with rush to your hand. Oh, this is like, neutral version of, like, Spring Pop, kind of. I'm a fan of this. I'm a fan of this build. Having, like, taking the hit with this 2/2 body is fine. Because you can use one of the rams to make up for it, and then you have the other one in your pocket. I really like little rushes. I'm gonna say this is like a 3.5. I think it's really flexible and nice. Sneaky Scott. 2 mana, 3/2, common card. Stealth. Honorable kill you next hero, power cost 0. 2 mana, 3/2 stealth. Totally fine. Honorable kill ability, is nice. We'll call it a 3. Yeah, right, the little rushes make setting up the honorable kill a lot easier. Yeah, and that's really relevant for a lot of these. Stormpike Quartermaster, 2 mana, 2/2. After you cast a spell, give a random minion in your hand +1/+1. It's fine. I'm gonna say 1.5. You gotta have the spells, otherwise it's a crap card. And the upside's not amazing either. Maybe worse than 1.5. Bunker Sergeant, 3 mana, 2/4 Battlecry. If your opponent has 2 or more minions, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. This is okay. Like that card that gets attack and taunt if the opponent has 2 or more minions. 1 damage to everything. Bad stats otherwise. 1 damage AoE is nice. $2.5 or 2? Something around that range. Direwolf Commander, 3 mana, 2/5 common. Honorable kill, summon a 2/2 wolf with stealth. The problem with this is that it's gonna be hard to get an honorable kill on this. You're playing an understated minion. Relatively, and... yeah, I don't love it. It does stuff. It's not super understated, so you can definitely play it and threaten the wolf and make them kind of think about it and remove it, or be careful about what they play, but... I think we'll say this is a 2. Grim Totem Bounty Hunter, 3 mana, 4/2 epic. Battlecry, destroy an enemy legendary minion. Wow. It's a tech card, we'll call it a 4. Sneed's counter. Ysera as well, I guess. I mean, it's just, it's good. It's a... It's better than Big Game Hunter because its stats are better. The thing is, your opponents just aren't always going to have legendary minions. Some decks simply don't. So maybe it's worse than 4, but to just hold on to it and be able to kill a legendary minion, what a huge swing. Maybe 4 is an overestimate. Let's say 3.5. Because, yeah, like, some opponents just won't play legendaries. Bald Taskmaster, 3 mana, 2/4 rare. Battlecry, add 2 armor scraps to your hand to give +2 health to a minion. It's just the much better version of the banana buffoon, right? So I'm actually okay with this. I'll say 2.5. I like being able to hold on to that health for later in the game. Piggyback Imp, 3 mana, 4/1 common demon. Death Rattle, summon a 4/1 imp. This is like that 4-drop. 4 mana, 5/1 Death Rattle, summon a 5/1. That card is okay. Better at 3 mana, probably. But there's so much 1 damage AoE stuff going around. Wax Rager? Was that what it was called? Divine Rager was the Divine Shield one. Wax Rager doesn't sound familiar. Kings make this card worse, but then they still have to contend with 4 attack. The average 3-drop. Maybe below average. I'll have to play with it. Poppy Cooler. 3 mana, 3/3, Epic Mech. Death Rattle, freeze 2 random enemy minions. Oh, I like the Poopy Cooler. These 2 enemy minions. Yeah, that's pretty obnoxious, right? Because a lot of the time they're gonna attack into this to kill it, and then that thing's gonna get frozen, and then it will be frozen next turn. I think this is obnoxious, and I like it. Reflecto Engineer, 3 mana, 2/4 common. Battlecry, swap the attack and health of all minions in both players' hands. What? I don't know, man. Two for its stats. Like, I can't really rate it based on its ability because it's just gonna be so situational. Interesting, though. This is gonna be annoying. I don't know about that. It might be 2.5, actually, because I think it's more likely to mess up your opponent than you if you're careful with it. Snowblind Harpy, 3 mana, 3/4 rare. Battlecry if you're holding a frost spell, gain 5 armor. 3 mana, 3/4 with a slight upside that doesn't really matter. We'll call it 2.5. Drekthar, 4 mana, 4/4 legendary. Oh, right, these are the ones that we had to click on. This costs more than every minion in your deck. Summon 2 of them. Yeah, so in Arena, this is only occasionally and vaguely likely to go off. I think 1 or 1.5, but like it's a 4 mana 4/4. You don't want to draft those. Frostwolf Warmaster, 4 mana 3/3 rare, costs 1 less for each card you've played this turn. You play 1 card, and that's a 3 mana 3/3. You play 2 cards, 2 mana 3/3, but then you're emptying your hand. I don't necessarily like this very much. It's just a 3/3. It's not gonna make any impact on the board. We'll call it a 2. Frozen Mammoth. 4 mana 6/7 Epic Beast. This is frozen until you cast a fire spell. I'll rate it 0.5 because you could potentially silence it for a surprise. Herald of Lookholer. 4 mana 3/5 common. Battlecry, draw a frost spell. Yeah, if you got a frost spell. But otherwise, we'll say 2.5 because you're probably not going to draft it unless you have a frost spell. If you don't have a frost spell, it's much worse. Ice Revenant, 4 mana 4/5 common elemental. Whenever you cast a frost spell, gain +2/+2. 4 mana 4/5 is a good stat line. And especially if you're drafting Shaman, this could be really good. I think I'll call it a 3. I like this. No downside here. And it's an elemental. Auroch the Blood Rager, 4 mana 3/5 legendary Death Rattle. If this wasn't honorably killed, resummon Korok. So this doesn't mean that the opponent has to use an honorable kill minion to kill it. It means that the opponent needs to deal exact damage to it. Hard removal resummons it. I think this is really good. I think this is very, very good. 4 mana 3/5, not the most amazing stat line, but hard removal doesn't do damage, is the thing. So it's not like it does exact damage, it just takes it away. Like, it's not an exact kill because it could kill any kind of type of thing. So many people are gonna mess that up. Yeah, it's gonna be rough, huh? Wow. Wow. Wait a minute. Hey, what about when you're attacking? Mm. Does it resummon if you trade it into something? On your turn. So it would. It would always resummon if you trade it into something. Because honorable kill has to happen on the opponent's turn. Oh my god. Five? 5 for this neutral legendary? They're just not gonna be able to get rid of this. It's gonna be really hard to get rid of this. You need to get rid of it on the turn that they play it with exact damage. Beefy Dreadsteed. Yeah, and this is not like the stats are amazing, but they're enough to be terrifying if it just keeps coming back and coming back. Like, think about it. Stormpike Marshal, 4 mana, 2/6 rare taunt. If you took 5 or more damage on your opponent's turn, this costs 1. Oh, I like this actually. I think this is a good ability. So when the opponent builds up enough force to start to smork you down, then you get a really cheap taunt to stop that from happening for a little while. Opponents will fairly often deal 5 or more damage to you if you've lost the board. And 2/6 is not a terrible stat line even for 4 mana. Again, it's a Stegodon. But for 1 mana, that's super clutch. We'll call it a 3. Power Sergeant, 4 mana, 4/4. Common. Battlecry. If you control at least 2 other minions, gain +2/+2. This one is, I would say, just good enough to be average. Just good enough to be average. You'll play it in a pinch as a 4/4, otherwise you're gonna try to flood the board and get a 6/6. Vanguard Stormpike, 4/4 legendary. Battlecry, if this costs less than every minion in your deck, reduce their cost by 3. That's not gonna happen, and also the upside's not that good. So, 1. Bloodguard, 5 mana, 4/7 common. Whenever this minion takes damage, give your minions +1 attack. Really? Wait, why is this so good? So the mediocre stat line for 5 is 4 mana, 4/6. This is better than that, and it has upside. So, I mean, if you got the board, they just have to ignore this card. Then you attack into something after playing stuff. Give your minions +1 attack. Even by itself on the board, it's a rock, which is hard to get rid of. I think this is a strong 4. And you could maybe even, given some experience, bump it up to a 4.5. Frantic Hippogriff. 5 mana, 3/7 beast common. Rush, honorable kill, gain wind fury. So worse stat line than this, but it has rush. Rush is valuable. If you kill something honorably, you can attack again. That's often gonna be awkward or a bit difficult to do, but in and of itself, this card is solid. A strong 3.5, maybe even a little bit better. Kind of weird to give the last card a 4 and this a 3.5. They're near each other, maybe, in power level. 5 mana, 3/3 common, Knight Captain. Battlecry, deal 3 damage. Honorable kill, gain +3/+3. So the Waste Warden kind of does this already, but without the honorable kill part. And Waste Warden is an okay minion to draft. And it goes face. True, true. You can get a 6/6 when you kill the opponent. That's not irrelevant at all. That's actually very relevant. It makes this a lot better that it goes face. So worst case scenario, you don't go face, you don't go honorable kill, and it's just a Waste Warden. Best case scenario, it's lethal. Second best case scenario, you remove something perfectly and you get a 6/6 on the board. I think this is quite a nice card. At least a 4, and I'm tempted to say 4.5, but I don't think it's quite that good. Spammy Arcanist, 5 mana, 3/4 epic. Battlecry, deal 1 damage to all the minions. If any die, repeat this. Understated, but nice ability. What's a 5? Like, this is Defile on a stick, basically. So, we love to see that. You're paying 3 extra mana for the 3 mana 3/4. It's probably worse than Defile. The Arcanist doesn't die. Deal 1 damage to all other minions. I'm gonna say 4.5. Like, I don't think it's better than Defile because it's less flexible because you need 5 mana to do it. You get the body, but that's just like playing a 3/4 after Defile. You spend 1 less card to do that on the upside. But I guess it's really nice that it's, like, what's really good about it is this is neutral, so you now have Defile in every class, which actually is horrible, and I'm not looking forward to that. Ice Hoof Protector, 6 mana, 2/10 common, taunt, freeze any character damaged by this minion. So it's just the better version of that Voodoo card, huh? I think this is annoying. Voodoo Hexer hit the gym. I think it's going to be really annoying to get through, because you're going to use your minions to soften this up, like you typically do with low attack, high health taunts. But then they aren't going to be able to attack the next turn, so it's going to stick around longer than one would like. Could be a 3.5. Legionnaire, 6 mana, 9/3 common. Death Rattle, give all minions in your hand +2/2. Well, this is interesting. I don't know how good it is. 3 health is terrible for a 6-cost minion, but... and it's almost always going to get removed, but then your hand gets buffed. We'll say 2.5 average, and it's really going to depend on the class and the deck. Humongous Owl. Oh, that is a big owl. Damn. 7 mana, 8/4 Beast, common. Death Rattle, deal 8 damage to a random enemy. Oh, but it's enemy, it could go face. This is cool. I would like to play around with this, but the opponent's just gonna play some 1/1s and you're gonna kill a 1/1 with it. So I don't actually think this is very good at all. Might get you lethal sometimes. I'll say 1.5. Abominable Lieutenant. 8 mana, 3/5 epic. At the end of your turn, eat a random enemy minion and gain its stats. What did you just say to me? So this is very much like Natalie Celine, except you can't target it. And except that it repeats every turn. So in some ways it's better. 4.5 that we might bump up to a 5 if it's really as good as it seems. Wow, wow, wow. You're never gonna be safe in the upcoming meta. You're never gonna be safe. Cruel Centurion. 8 mana, 8/8 common, rush, honorable kill, deal 8 damage to the enemy hero. Okay, so to be fair, 8 mana, 8/8 rush, good. Honorable kill, amazing. But it's gonna be very difficult to hit exactly 8 damage, right? So this is most of the time just gonna be an 8 mana 8/8 rush. Cancels a Moarg. That's true. It is exactly the cancellation of a Moarg. It's the Bizarro Moarg. But sometimes it'll match up and it'll just end games. Ugh. So we'll call it a 4, I think. Lock Holar, the Ice Lord, 10 mana 8/8 elemental legendary, rush, Wind Fury, costs 5 less if you have 15 health or less. So it would become a 5 mana 8/8 rush, Wind Fury. Fuck me, man. That's so good. Is that a 5? 5 mana 8/8 rush, Wind Fury? And that's it. That's all the cards. Alright, thanks for watching. Appreciate you sticking with me. Parting thoughts? Rip to any sense of certainty that you could possibly have in a game of Arena. Because, like, so many of these cards, whether they're class cards or neutral cards, completely nullify a whole range of strategies on the board. Put a big minion down, like people do with the 5-drop that becomes a 6/10 taunt, or a Moarg. Great, we're going to play a card that eats it and gains its stats, and keeps eating and keeps eating and keeps eating. Go wide? Okay, we'll go Defile on a stick. Go wide, but a diverse amount of health? Okay, well, let's just play the card that sends everything back to your hand, or the thing that freezes everything. You know, like, there's just answers to any blowout, right? Which, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. It seems like it might be very stressful, but yeah. A lot of these cards seem fun, and some of them seem like painfully overpowered. Gonna be a swingy meta, and I think getting mediocre decks is gonna feel even worse than ever before. Because just Curvestone, I think Curvestone might be dead. Curvestone feels dead this meta. Because it, a meta or two ago, you could draft a mediocre neutral curve deck and just curve out and get at least like 5 wins. It's not really so anymore because there's so many powerful cards, and this set is going to exacerbate that. Of course, it also depends on the other sets that rotate back in, so a lot of stuff's still up in the air. But we'll see how it goes. So the free stuff is interesting. I feel like a lot of people are going to be frustrated by it, but maybe mechanics like that reward better players. I don't know. Alright, chat. That's been Blobby. Reviewing Forged in the Alterac. I hope that when this set comes out, y'all have fun with it. And I'm done.